Tour.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, roadies. It is a Spurs pop-up. It is very early for me on a Monday morning, a holiday Monday morning. I am here and blessed with the other Brians, the two Brians here with you, doing a pop-up. We thought, we reached a milestone today, and and we haven't really had a good chat about Man City yet and that result. So good morning, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I am absolutely, on this day, mate, I'm absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, huge congratulations to you, obviously to Adam, and to obviously Mr. Kyriacou.
Unfortunately, neither of them are able to be with us for different reasons, but shout out to those lads as well, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a phenomenal achievement that we've reached, and it's thanks to each and every one of the 4,000 people that have hit that subscribe button. And it's been a great journey, especially with you, my brother. Especially that it's been a year and a bit that we've known each other. It's been phenomenal.
Seems like it's been forever, but it's so funny that it's only been that short of time.
It does, and it was like, you know what, you and me were just saying. We've been meaning to do a pop-up recently, but the time difference with you and me and our schedules have just been so uncoordinated.
Just a little bit harder. The reason it's all good. The reason we sort of moved on from Tottenham away was because of the struggle of the time differences, and we sort of but circumstances put us in this position again to have to deal with that. And so it's made it a little bit harder to put out the regular content that we want to put out week in, week out, because of that time difference. But we've worked around it, and and it's cheers, Cody Mac. Appreciate the support, buddy. It's worked out. We've gotten through it. We've obviously had the help of Adam and Danny, and their contribution has been amazing and helped us with content as well. Adam's doing a fantastic job. He's been brilliant since he's come in. So just thanks everybody, and thanks for the people who are in the comments right now, Cody. We love you, buddy. Looking forward to seeing a game with you soon, man. We'll have to do that when you can get your way down to Toronto. When Bry's back, we'll do a. We got to do that. Andre as well. Invite Andre from
and Bobby K.
And Bobby K as well. Yeah,
I think we've got to try to arrange this for when they bloody announce the NLD.
Yeah, that'd be.
So everyone gets a bit of warning when it's going to be.
Yep.
So everyone can say right to whoever there is. I mean, I'm gonna have to really try with my wife because
it's gonna be a tough one because you've been gone for a while. Hopefully, it's not like the day after you get back or something.
Thankfully, Ilana knows when it comes to that game. I've got a clear run. She knows that game. But yeah, thankfully we're playing Everton the day after I get back, so it's definitely not the weekend that I come back.
Oh, but that's good. That's good. You'll have a little bit of space in between, right? Cheers, exactly. David, for the support. Carl Simpson as well. George was here with us. Danny, thank you. Paul, thank you so much. JJ Graham, Garnham, sorry for mispronouncing that name, JJ. I'm just going to call you JJ. It's much easier. So we haven't actually chatted since the City game, and we've chatted personally, but we haven't done a stream yet. It's again circumstantial with the time difference and trying to organize things. We are planning on doing a podcast on Tuesday. We've got a couple special guests. We're looking forward to bringing that to the peeps. Really cool special guests, and some one that we should have had on a long time ago that we had on the previous channel that looking forward to getting her on. I'll give you a little bit of a hint on it. Maybe we'll announce it at the end of the show. Who knows? But yeah, I haven't had a chance to chat Spurs yet or chat Man City. You went to the game, another away game. You lucky bastard. I'm so jealous, man, because the away games are the best games. I mean, going to the stadium is incredible. I had gone to White Hart Lane before when I was younger, but in my early 20s, and that's when I became a fan, and it was incredible. It's an incredible experience going to a home game, but the away game is just something. There's something a little bit more because you're with the hardcore supporters. You're with the folks who they're there week in, week out. Doesn't matter where the travel is, they go. And so it's the hardcore. So what was that like? Well, tell us the story of like sort of going, and of course who you went with, and just give us a bit of a rundown.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing is I was on Chelsea Spurs' channel on Thursday doing my Tottenham story and my Tottenham journey. And as I finished that
was brilliant, by the way. I enjoyed that a lot.
I got you enjoyed the picture that they found. So
it was funny.
That's a bad picture of me. But yeah, so as I finished that, and I was just getting ready to go to bed, got a text from Ben from We Are Tottenham TV. Do you want to come Manchester City on Saturday? And I was like, do you know what? listen, I'm coming home in 2 weeks. So how many more games am I going to get to? He had a free ticket for me. Man. And I was just like, as I said, anything to spend time with Ben and Simeon. Anything to spend a second with them, because not only have they become like family to me, and they are just incredible, but the support they've given this channel and every other channel.
Just thanks to them again. We've thanked them so many times, but one more time.
For every step of every journey we make, I will always make sure, or we will always make sure,
for sure,
that Ben and Simeon and everyone associated with that channel get a very special mention, because if it wasn't for them, these doors wouldn't be opening as quickly, the numbers wouldn't be rising as quickly. They're instrumental in all of our channels. But yeah, so Ben asked me, do you want to go? And I was like, well, hell yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And he was like, listen, they normally drive. They said 3 times or 2 times a year they go on this private coach hired by not Tottenham, by a group of lads that go everywhere together, and we're going on this coach. Like, fine. And Graham, another great supporter who was in the channel and was at the protest with me, he's on that coach as well as someone I hadn't seen for a long time. So we had a great day on the coach going up there. And then obviously, what can I say? Ben has even said that because I'm going to Leeds with him on Saturday as well, and Simeon. So if we win again 3-2 and a last minute goal or anything like that, he's going to call Ilana, my wife, and say Brian's not coming home till we lose the away game.
We need him in the UK.
I had Sean Willisey, who's another friend of the channel, say, right, that's it. I'm speaking to Trudeau to try and get your Canadian citizenship revoked till we lose an away game. So what can I say about that game? It's like, I thought Leicester was once in a lifetime, but then the next away game I go to relive it
in the span of 2 weeks. You get that.
To relive it, and also you got to remember the controversy in that game. And we'll talk about your views of the game in a minute, Brian, because everyone's heard mine. Obviously, I think this game is probably the most controversial game in VAR history for decisions, because it just rears its head every.
Do you think so? I'm interested that you said that. I didn't find it that controversial, but
do you know what I mean? In controversial moments, I mean that in this game, VAR has always had something to play.
Oh, you mean just generally against City?
Yeah, well, look,
we had
a goal taken away. I mean, Cody Mack went viral once again because he's king of Twitter. With his tweet where it said, "Listen, Lloris gave them a goal. We had a goal taken away. They had a penalty awarded, yet still we won."
Yeah, no, that's true. Those are all true things, but they were all the right calls, in my opinion. Anyway,
they were. But I'm saying, what I'm saying about VAR, that if you look at all the games,
it was involved inevitably, right?
Yeah. The amount of times that this comes involved in these moments, it's insane. But obviously, the Spurs, like you were saying, Spurs
City must hate us. By the way,
Spurs support at home is great, but when you go away, it's just non-stop singing, non-stop shouting, non-stop chanting. And obviously, with Harry Kane to put in a performance like that against that team at that stadium, it was honestly just an honour to be a part of it.
Arguably, for me, one of the best performances in Premier League history of a single player.
So you know what?
Unbelievable! Like just every single touch was good.
Let's talk a bit about that, Brian, because when I was with Simeon yesterday, this actual topic came up.
Yeah,
because people were saying, is it one of the most iconic or complete performances?
Complete, definitely.
In Harry Kane's history, and then we escalated it to Premier League history. Yeah. So when I looked at it, we'll get your opinion. I said, whenever I think of Harry Kane mesmerising performances, and there are so many to choose from for so many reasons.
Yeah.
First two that comes to my head is when he destroyed Chelsea in the 5-3 in his first season.
Incredible. Yeah.
Like destroyed, and that was when he was a one-season wonder.
Yep.
And then you had the Arsenal game where he scored that header in his first North London derby, which to me, that header is still my favourite Harry Kane goal.
Great goal,
ever.
Yeah, incredible.
Just the way he headed that ball in and the direction and the moment and his foot. So they stood out for me. But then as we were talking on the show yesterday, I realised, you know what, that was just because of his goals.
Yeah.
It's not because of his passing
Everything
game.
Else he did, yeah.
His off the ball running, his involvement on in score, and I can't complete performances. I think it's up there. I think, in fact, I think if the top complete performances,
This
I
is
think
the thing, right? He played both positions, the 9 and the 10, in a complete performance in both positions, from the creative aspect of what a 10 needs to do to what a 9 needs to do. He was better than Kevin De Bruyne on the day. He was arguably the best in that position, and better than any striker you see in a league to finish the way he should have had a hat trick, depending on how you see that offside goal. His passing, his hold up play, every single touch. It was every touch. It was like, holy shit, Harry. There's one where he heads the ball sort of backwards without looking, it goes over around the guy and then dishes a beautiful pass. It was glorious to watch. It was so much fun to watch. And I just couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. I was just blown away.
It was. I mean, well, let's see what people in the chat think with it. Is that answer it and put 1 and 2. 1, was it his best performance in the Spurs shirt? And 2, was it the most complete performance by a centre forward in Premier League history? That's a bold statement.
See, here's the thing. I think the statement should be this: it's not that it's the most complete by a centre forward; it's the most complete by a forward, because he was doing so much that a 10 does. He was as much of a 10 as he was a 9 in that game with the passes. That pass to Sonny for the first goal. The no look over the like. That is class. That is top notch. That is what you see the best players in the world doing, and he did that all day long and scored 2 goals and had one called back that arguably should have counted, and had a breakaway where the keeper made a ridiculous save. It was just nonstop, unbelievable.
So I have to say that pass. I mean, the best pass I'd ever seen in live football with Tottenham was I was at the FA Cup semi-final when we lost to Chelsea 4-2. At Wembley a few years ago when we finished second. Yeah. And the ball from Christian Eriksen to Dele Alli to score that between 2 defenders was I was right in line with Eriksen when he whipped that in. It was one of the greatest things. But that pass that he did, for me, beats it. And people are talking a lot about the goal, the pass that he did for Bergwijn for the Leicester goal.
Yep.
Which in that moment at that time was a great pass. But I think the no-look pace on that ball to Son blows it out of the water, in all honesty. What about you?
Yeah, I honestly think, again, it's when you combine it with everything else that happened in the game, I've seen him make almost every game he plays. Even if he doesn't have his best game, his passing is almost always better than anybody else's on the pitch, because he sees things. His pinging like one ball from one side of the pitch to the other. It just does it with ease. It's just ease. It's always on, right on the receiver's foot. And you combine that with the rest of it, and it blows me away. I think his passing across the board is arguably the best in the league, or is right there with the best in the league. Whether it's better than those other passes, it did the same thing. It created a goal, and he's one of the only players that can do it that well, that easily, without looking.
I want to bring up a comment here from Photo Mac. I'm just to bring it up. And you know what, mate? And I hate to say this, when anyone asks me the greatest player to ever play in the Premier League, it's that man right there by an absolute country mile, and it pains me to say that.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say it.
I think, I agree with you that he was on a different level, without a doubt, and he had some wonderful performances. But can you think of an actual performance? I know he had one where he
I think the difference here, and there's good reason for Potomac's respectful comment, and it's hard to disagree with him, is that Henry did it in one shit, and did it in games where it mattered, where they won shit. And this is the biggest issue with Spurs, generally speaking. Had Harry had that performance against City and it put us top of the league, then he's in that conversation. But it's we're trying to get 4th place, and we're struggling to get our team shit together. So to frame it the same way you frame what Henry did with winning how many titles, with winning how many trophies, it's you can't compete. So you put Kane in a like individually in the same category as the level that he's playing at, but from when he did it and the statistics based on it, he's it's hard to compete with him for sure.
Brian, I want to ask you about a couple of other players. Obviously, we'll go through your. Well, actually, let's have your game reaction. Then I'm going to talk to you about specific players. So, what was your? Sure. First of all, where did you watch it?
I watched it at home. At home. So I'm still on the wagon. So I'm kind of avoiding bars and pubs at the moment. And I'm dog sitting. There's a lovely pup next to me right now, so he's a bit high maintenance, and I didn't really want to risk going. So I just sat at home with my girlfriend Nina, and watched the game, and just sat with the dog. The dog was looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing?" When I was celebrating, like every time I celebrate, he's got these big wide eyes, going, "What is going on?" Yeah, so just really really enjoyed watching it from home. You know, living in Canada, we have only the option of going to the bar or watching it from home, and in this case I watched it from home. So but it was, it was lovely. My girlfriend and I ate breakfast, standard Saturday or Sunday, watching the game, unless we go out to the pub. So it was lovely. It's good, really really great win. I did like completely unexpected, as we had discussed multiple times in multiple different channels, that nobody was expecting it. So I think the shock of the going a goal up so early was like, oh shit, there's something in this, that they've shown up.
Yeah.
And it looked like that, but we know we've done that before, and then we sit deep and we kind of, nothing comes of it, and we end up losing 2-1. I kind of thought that was going to be the case, because they were just all over us, but defended really really well, resolute defending. I heard somebody saying in some comments that we didn't defend all that well. I think it was one of the WhatsApp chats, that were multiple chats that were on, and I just was baffled, because Romero was immense. He basically makes sure that whoever plays it, or in our weakest position currently in the squad at right wing back, it doesn't have the problems that he normally would have, because he basically just shuts it down for them. The amount of times he just came in and covered for Royale when Royale was out of position, or when Royale was too far up the pitch, and just his reading of the game, incredible. And shout out to Eric Dyer as well. I know that he's gotten so much grief from our fan base when he's not playing. It's the difference in the squad, not the team, a whole team across the entire pitch is completely different. And incredible for him to step up the way he has under Conte, and show what he's capable of, and limiting those errors. I haven't seen him or felt like he's going to make those mistakes, and the rest of the players around him, other than maybe Lloris, who we might get to, but they just look way more comfortable and controlled and understanding of what they're supposed to do, and he's dictating play back there. So it's great to see. And just across the board, there was not a bad performance on the pitch. I didn't think anybody played well.
Across the board, I've given my player ratings on We Are Tottenham TV.
Okay, yeah.
Let's do the Brian Ireland.
All right.
Player ratings of the game. So obviously we know where we're going to start. Number 1, Hugo Lloris.
Hugo, I mean, he obviously is, I think, at fault again for their first goal. I think spilling the ball the way he did was, arguably he's probably, feeling the buzz from, or the lack of confidence from the previous game, because of, the 2 goals were arguably both his fault, and he looked uncomfortable. He just gets his body behind that, and he slides in sideways. I don't know what he's doing there. I played keeper a little bit, and it shouts of a keeper who isn't confident, and that's not really been him. He's been pretty confident lately, so it's disappointing. So it's a 6 for me. I can't give. He made that wonderful save as well. So I think had he not made that save, it would have been below 5, but that save bumps him above the 5, and I give him a 6 on the performance.
Okay, so let's go right back, or right wing back. Emerson
was better again, I think, because Romero was next to him and Sanchez wasn't. When those two, Sanchez and Royale, are next to each other, it's not pretty. I would give him probably a 6 as well. I don't think he was bad, but I don't think he had an opportunity to be bad because he was covered.
Okay. I actually, like you said as well, with the man we're going to talk about next.
Yeah,
it just goes to show that with Sanchez and Emerson, they can't play together, because there's a blatant.
They're too crap, and their communication crap. Their communication isn't good, and they don't know how to help each other. Whereas as soon as Romero slots in, I'll let you finish your question. Massive.
Yes, no, I was about to say there's a breakdown in communication on the same wavelength when it's Emerson and Sanchez, and that doesn't mean it's one more's fault than the other. But the man we're going to talk about now, it doesn't matter who plays there, because exactly what you said,
unreal.
Let's talk about Mr. Romero.
Yeah, Romero is just, again, he is a class above. I'm not even just in the position he plays in there's when you think about world class and you put players on the level, we're just talking about Harry Kane being on that level. He is at that level as a center half. He is world class. He will be arguably the best center half in the league, or is in the top 5 conversation currently. I don't know if he's played enough to really say that he's the best, but you can see his qualities, and I give him a 9. Like it's close to a 10, except the penalty. And even the penalty, I wouldn't necessarily blame him for, because he's going in and it's a quick moment, but he sticks his arm up. It's a penalty. I hate to say it. It sucks that there was, but I thought I'd give him a 9 on everything else he did. He was just immense in his ability, and this is what Dyer also gives him, is that you see him sort of bust out from the defense and intercept or get physical on a player when the player receives the ball and gives them no time. He did that over and over and over again. And it was incredible. It's joy to see a defender in our midst again that is of the level of Yen and Toby.
So you know what? I don't call him world class just yet. He's definitely getting there.
He's on the verge of it. Again, I think he needs way more for me to say it. And
he's definitely, because obviously everyone, even me, every footballer or fan uses that word world class. You either
it gets thrown around pretty easily.
He without a doubt he stands out like a sore thumb in this league.
Yeah,
without a doubt he stands out like a sore thumb within this club. And the thing I love about him the most is he makes the hardest things look so simple.
His control simple of the ball when it's on his feet and he's got 3 players coming at him. He's just like finds the pass perfectly. He's just so casual but so confident. It's great.
It's his strength as well as when the ball's going out for a goal kick. If he's in front of it, you're not getting around him. You're not physical. Getting around him. So I gave him a 9 as well. Right, let's go, Mr. I love Eric Dyer. Eric Dyer loves me. Yeah. How good was it to have him back?
It's the difference. There's a statistic that I'd saved. Let me just find it here real quick about Dyer, because I just think it says everything about him and what it's. I think I said the statistic on a previous show about our record with him, Skip, and who else was in this? Romero in the side. Those 3, like I think 5 out of 6 shutouts, like 0 goals conceded or something. Yep. Some ridiculous statistics. But just on Dyer, 6 wins, 5 clean sheets, 21 points, 1 defeat in the last 10 Premier League games that he's played. We have to give the guy credit, as much as it was always prone to the error. We always knew he was good, but he had that error, and that error was always, oh God, what's he going to do? He was kind of at fault for their first goal. I think he could have gotten his head up in the air and maybe gotten in front of it. There's a couple moments where I thought he wasn't perfect, but what he does to the rest of the squad is huge. So I give him a solid 8.
So Joe, you and me, I gave Lloris. I'll tell you my rating after.
Sure. Yeah.
So I gave Lloris a 7.
Yeah.
I gave Emerson a 7. I gave Kuti a 9, and I gave Dyer an 8. And I have to say, let's get everyone's comments coming in on players. I've been watching these. Eugene is giving the weirdest numbers. I mean, I don't even know how you give someone
a point. Out after everything, Eugene.
That's a given. But I don't know how you give a 0.6. But that's a great score. But Joe, what I love about what Eric Dyer's doing, Joe, his passing was a little bit wonky in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's physical. How fit he is. I think he got a little tired during the game, and you'd expect that. He hasn't played a lot of football lately. So,
like you said, with what he's doing is, whether you like him as a defender or not, there's no doubt he is organising that back line.
Yeah,
he is the vocal one. He is the one that's marshalling that. You got Kuti to do those bits, but there's no doubt, and the stats that you just gave prove it.
Yep.
That his organisational skills are being very much not given the credit they deserve, especially with the stats you've just read off. So I gave him an 8 as well.
Yeah.
So now, Ben Davies, and I know we've got the I Love Ben Davies fan in here, which I'm sure is Ariane. And if it is you, Ariane, just say, yeah, it's me.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine to have. So I'm a fan of Ben Davies, not a fan in that I love Ben Davies. I think Ben Davies, he had his time at Spurs, like under Poch, when, the 16-17 season, when him and Rose were back and forth and they were both performing at a really high level, pushing each other. He's done really well under Conte when Dyer plays. And again, I think it's another circumstance of Dyer's effect on that defensive line, because he looked out of sorts completely against Wolves and Southampton. Just didn't look like the player that Conte had started to make him play. Maybe arguably it isn't Conte, that it's Dyer's leadership in that position that makes him more comfortable and allows him to get forward sometimes, which you see him do. He makes those runs, gets wide, pushes the ball for the forwards much higher up the pitch than he normally would be. So good performance, solid. Not a lot going down that side though. They obviously targeted Royale on the left, and most of what City did try to come down that side of the pitch. So he didn't have to be that great. I'd give him a solid probably 7, just because he didn't have to do a lot, but when he did, he performed. So a solid 7.
Do you know what? That's what I gave. Carl Simpson is following me and you pretty much pound for pound.
Yeah.
We've got, so Eugene said the 0.6 was for the Portuguese and the Spanish. He's given Ben Davies a 7.14. So I'm guessing the 1.4 is for the Welsh. It's not Ariane. It's not Ariane, but with his I love Ben Davies, he gave a hat on, he gave us an 8. The reason I gave him a 7 as well, K7 Ben Davies is worthless. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, in Conte's system, he's not. I mean, the thing is, who else do we have in our squad that can play left-sided center half with a left foot? Nobody. So he's not worthless. I mean, yeah, I get it. We need a better player. We have to push forward and get better players. But Ben Davies is not worthless. There's very few players that can play in that position, slot in relatively comfortably, and do the job that he's doing. It's an average Ben Davies performance, but it's solid enough that he's relied on by the manager. And I think that's what you need at this point in time with our squad. I'm not saying it doesn't need to be upgraded. It does. A lot of the players need upgrade, but with what we have, that's impressive, I think.
So yeah, I mean, the reason I gave him a 7, I just want to say a big up to put it there. It's Terry. Terry is another one that's been with us from the very, very beginning and a huge supporter of the channel. So it's good to see you in here, Terry. But the only reason I gave Ben 7 was, like I said, Romero does what he does and makes the hard things look simple and is shepherding the ball. Dyer, the organisation. Davies had a much better game. But when I'm thinking about what those three bring, those two showed those things. And Ben, I think the two of them together makes Ben Davies better, like kind of King did with anyone next to him. He put in a couple of terrific blocks, but that's why I gave him a 7. So moving on, everyone, we're now moving on to Ryan Sessegnon.
To Sess, yeah. Sess is an interesting one for me. I think he played well. Like again, not a lot came down that side. He didn't have to do a lot, and that says something about maybe like that City targeted obviously what we all know is our weak spot, and didn't think Sessegnon was a weak spot. You know, they did have Sterling was on that side, and he played well against Sterling. You know, he kept up with him for the most part. Sterling got around him a couple times, and Sterling's going to. Let's be honest, Sterling's been in incredible form.
Yeah,
kept him relatively quiet. Ended up having to move him to the other side when they made some substitutions, and didn't really affect the game that much. So for that, I would give Sess probably a 7 as well. I don't think he was particularly brilliant, but I don't think he had to be, and I think that says something about his performance.
Well, you, me, and Carl Simpson are on a par again.
Still again, yeah.
Because it's what I gave him. Because you got the reason I gave him the 7 was he came back after being substituted in the Wolves game, which would have shot his confidence, and then goes, right, go defend against Manchester City, and he must have been like, oh sugar, here we go.
No, I think he took it though. I think he
did like he did Liverpool.
Felt like he did.
Stood up, and his movement and his hard to play in the second goal and distracting everyone to keep him away from Son, I think was instrumental in the second goal. So I gave him a 7. So now we're moving to midfield, and we'll start with Bentancur.
Bentancur is a funny one for me because he's definitely not up to snuff when it comes to the highest level in the Prem yet. You could see he gave the ball away on a few occasions in particularly bad spots where you're kind of going, you can't do that in this league against these teams. Having said that, he also had moments of absolute brilliance where, you know, he kept the ball, he shuffled, he spun, he got the pass away, that forward thinking pass that we've all been desperate for from a midfielder who's gonna break those lines for us. So it was a mixed bag for me because I do think we're seeing what we've missed in a midfielder when, you know, the likes, I'm not saying comparing him to specifically, but the likes of Dembele, what Dembele was able to do for a transition, you're seeing him able to do that for the transition. I still think he needs to get physically fit enough to do it at that highest level, but he has the attributes. So I would probably give him, a 6.5. I think I want to give him more, but there was too many times where he gave the ball away and he wasn't on top of it enough to recognize how quickly he was going to get closed down, and he gave the ball. It didn't turn. It could have turned into goals against. It didn't, thankfully, because the defense was solid behind him. But it could have, and that's those individual errors are our biggest issues. Our individual errors are the reason why we've lost those games against Southampton and against Wolves, was because of individual error, and there was potential for that in this case from him. So
I can't remember. Carl Simpson has given him an 8. And I gave him either a 7 or 8, and I cannot remember. But his sliding tackles are phenomenal. it's a dying art in football.
Yeah, but also he's out of position in those situations, and it's desperate rather than being in the right position or not giving the ball away in the first place to make a sliding tackle. I get it. I love watching them. They look amazing when they do it, especially on a wet surface when they're like sliding.
Exactly.
It's classic.
You got that.
Yeah.
Like Simeon said, he gave the ball away a couple of times near the penalty area, but why he's giving it away is he's trying to get out. He's thinking forward. He's thinking, which I can appreciate, but also. A lot of people were commented on this on Twitter, and I agree with them. For the third goal, after going 2-2 and just maybe wanting to see the game out, he could have had that clip over to Kulu.
It's brilliant.
He could have. I can't say Kulu, sorry, because it's we're not allowed to call him Kulu. I can't remember what
we're not.
Say Kulusevski. Yeah, because apparently he doesn't like it because Kulu in some European languages is a very bad word.
So don't call him Kulu, okay?
Deki, or I think it's Deki, or someone in the comments will say it, or Kulusevski. That pass, he could have easily laid it onto Matt Doherty inside.
He could have kept it simple and gone for the draw for sure.
The fact that we've got someone to do that is why I bumped him up, because and he just looks composed. He does, and he looks like, and I didn't know anything about him when we signed him, not a thing.
Yeah, I actually think he seemed initially like a better pickup than Kulusevski did, based on what I first saw in the first couple of games.
Thank you, jelly and ice cream, and thank you. That's it, Deki.
I think it's I think it just comes down to recognizing, and somebody else made the comment here. The K7 makes the comment, couldn't really adapt to the high tempo of the game, but he was still good. That's my point. Like, it was the high tempo that you could see he was uncomfortable with. Cheers, Kuba.
He's not. I
was waiting to post that one because it was from yesterday. In case anybody's wondering about this fun, I won't take the piss out of Brian. I already did it enough. Go watch Spurs Related. We did a quiz on Spurs Related. Shout out to those guys for having us on, James and Andre. Fantastic stuff with them yesterday. Really fun. We went against the Irish Hotspur, and Brian made a pretty grave error. Don't get me wrong, I made a couple myself too. So it was a team loss, but only lost by 2 against a difficult competition. But
the rematch might be next Sunday. But Brian
kind of got something wrong he shouldn't have, or didn't get an answer he should have.
Yeah, I missed an answer out that was that,
go watch it. You'd rather them go watch it than us tell them, because then those lads can get some people to watch the channel. I
was on Tottenham Tantrum Gold earlier with Kuva, and he came on and he put some comments like that. I said, it's very rare that you get to meet your trolls, and I got to meet him, so it was all good.
And to be fair, trolls are usually annoying and don't have a lot of points.
And
Kuva always nails it, so it's pretty hard to argue.
Kuva's the greatest. So where were we? Bentoncourt. Okay, let's get on to my man, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, so it's for me one of the best responses I've seen from a player when they get dropped from the previous match, and what they do to respond to that. He was incredible. He was everywhere. He was physical. He broke things up all the time. He gave Bentoncourt the space again, which is the point of a partnership in the midfield. When you have a player who's there to transition, to control the game, and to distribute, and then you have another player who doesn't allow the other team to get at you. And he was incredible. He had probably his best game of the season, I would say. Against a very difficult midfield to play against. I'd probably give him an 8.75. Total. There's still moments where, from a creative perspective or from a distribution perspective, where his passing was a little bit. I'm like, why did you kick that ball? You had tons of space in front of you. You didn't have to kick it. You could have taken a minute, like Bentoncourt does, where he shifts, shimmies, spins, looks, and distributes. I know that's not necessarily his job, so that's why I still think 8.75 is a high rank. But I think there's a couple of moments where I was just like, if his decision making was a little bit better, then I think I would have given him a higher mark.
Okay, so first of all, before I give my rating, K7 and I think the other was Kev Williams. You've got 2 great questions in there, which are going to get lost in the comments as we go through this, but we're going to answer those. So when we finish doing the ratings, can you retype them? Because they are great questions that we.
Well, we could just answer them now. I don't mind popping in. I mean,
okay, let's pause it. Okay, pop in. Let's do it. So let's go through it. So we'll do Kev Williams first, which is, would you keep the same lineup? Oh, actually, let me just give up Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Yeah, give your rating on Højbjerg.
That's where we were. So Terry Wright and Carl Simpson are back on a par with me. I gave him a 9.
Yeah.
And the reason I gave him a 9 is obviously everyone knows how much I love this dude. I absolutely, I love everything about him. And he did everything. I mean, even right at the death, I don't know if people remember, he was trying to dribble it all the way up the touchline, and there was a match.
Yeah, that was fantastic effort. So
and
good.
he just would not give up fighting. Yes, he gave away a yellow card, but you know what? That is the kind of standard Pierre-Emile Højbjerg sets.
Yeah,
and he's come in for a lot of criticism, and I actually gave him some as well because
I mean, he deserved it to some extent, but there's a comment here from Terry Wright that I'll just like to quickly bring up as well. And this is the point. If he gets that rest and he's fit and ready to go each game, he's going to put everything on the line. That's just his nature. That's what we know he's going to do. So, incredible. I thought he was, 8.75 is a good mark. I just think there's a couple of those moments where, and again, maybe I'm being a bit picky, but I think some of the passing for me is just, it's the one spot in his game that I find is a little bit weak. And when he's tired, that's when you see it a lot, and it comes out a lot. So yeah, in this case, he was mostly brilliant.
So there you go. So then let's do with those two questions. So yeah, Brian, we'll go to you first. So would you keep the same lineup against Burnley?
Yeah, unless Skip's fit, I might consider bringing in Skip. Probably not. So yeah, I think that's our best 11. I think if you're Conte, you're playing that unless Skip is fit. You might change up that position with Højbjerg and him, rotating. I could even see right back getting rotated. I think Doherty could do a job against Burnley. I don't think he's got a lot to worry about, and we need to break them down. His crossing is better than Royale's, despite him being useless defensively. Again, we're playing Burnley, so they're not. I mean, they've improved. Don't get me wrong. They won 3-0 at the weekend and played pretty good football. And they brought in that new striker who's going to be difficult to play against. But that won't be Doherty's job. So I could see that switch because of his delivery. He's a better crosser of the ball. But the rest of it, and maybe depending on fitness, if Reguilón is fit on the left side, but he's coming back from COVID, so I would give him the rest and give Cess a run of games at this point, because Cess, again, it's a game where we need pace. We need to get in behind. We need to break them down because they are going to sit deep. So the same team, other than those two positions, I might switch.
So I don't know which positions to switch, but I think it won't be the same team. Would I? It's hard for me.
Who else do you rotate though? I mean, maybe more for Kulusevski. But
the reason I say this is, first of all, that team was set up inch perfect to play Manchester City and beat Manchester City at their game. I think we can all say without hesitation that Burnley do not
that's
play
why
Manchester
that's
City.
why I changed the wing backs too, because that's the spot. That's the place we need to get in behind, right?
So I think out of the two, with no disrespect to Burnley, I would go with this team against Leeds.
Yeah,
against Leeds, where we need to come out all go, and Leeds will try to, like you saw their second half response. All right, they didn't hold out. Leeds will come out fighting, and I think this team here, apart from maybe like you said, Reguilón, and we'll see with Oliver Skip what he does, are the players he can trust. And I think the Leeds game is more important to have this 11 playing. So
I agree with that for sure. And I think Leeds are similarly structured to City is that they press high, they leave a ton of room in behind, and that's perfect for the squad that Conte put out in this game, and it will work wonders against Leeds.
Exactly, and it's, you know what, as well, the Ellen Road is one of the most hostile stadiums you can go to.
Yeah, it's a difficult place to go. Yeah,
so that's why I would do this 11 that we just played against Leeds, but not against Burnley. But Kev, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you would switch other than the wingbacks, and that's the reason I think about it, because I do know he likes to rotate those wingbacks just generally from a fitness perspective, because he wants them to be able to run a lot. In a game against a Burnley side that are arguably going to be sitting deep and we're going to have to break down, we're going to need more players that are capable of that. Royale, despite him arguably being a better defender than, not even arguably, it's pretty obvious, he's a better defender than Doherty is. Doherty has a better cross. And we need that. We need somebody who can put the ball in the box, because we're going to have to get in behind them somehow, and we're going to have to try to create. And that's going to be much harder to do that against Burnley than it was against City or Leeds, because of the amount of space they leave behind their back three or back four. So a difficult one. But yeah, I could see some of Bisco. Dave Bisco just mentioned Bergwijn coming in. I could see Bergwijn coming in this game as well. Yeah. Maybe give Sonny a rest. If needed, maybe not. I mean, we've got our bench is looking a little bit better as we get more fit, but hopefully that remains that way. So yeah, those are the changes I would make.
Well, we'll get into the next question, but I just want to say I'm not going to bring the comment on because it's loads, but this person knows who's in the house. Sue Smith is in the house.
What's up, Sue?
Big up my
So
diamond.
Sue doesn't want Doherty in, and I get it, Sue. And I don't want Doherty in either, but I also don't want Royale in. And I think we can all agree that is our weakest position. You
It's
have
game
to,
management, Brian.
yeah, you have to pick
It's
which
game
one's going to
management.
suit the game you're going to play against, or the team you're going to play against, and try to make a decision on that. And I think he'll be better against a team that sits deep than Royale will.
And as you said earlier as well, with Kuti playing in that position, as long as Dyer's fit in the centre,
Yeah.
I think it
just
doesn't matter
makes
because
the
someone
right
will be
wing back
there.
position way more solid. It just does.
Yep. Exactly. Now I'm going to ask this one first because we're mentioning my favourite player here.
Sure.
So, would you take 40 million for Roma for Højbjerg in the summer? So, this question for me, I've said it before. The time for sentiment on your favourite player or let's bring this one back, that time is over. That time is over. So if you can get an upgrade on a Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, you get the upgrade. But that's the thing. Selling him for 40 million, I think he'd fetch that kind of money if we're honest. And it'd be a huge profit on what we made. But that's where the issues start lying. If you get rid of a Højbjerg, do we get the upgrade for him or do we buy potential for the future? And that's the big issue. I think Kane, Son, Romero, and Lloris are the four that are irreplaceable in world football. Like, it doesn't matter who you can try and get.
Yeah.
Realistically, for Tottenham, obviously you get a Messi and realistically,
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Yep.
I think those four are the unupgradable, so to speak. I believe everyone else is. So if you could get an upgrade, and for once, if we brought the upgrade in, so we knew he was there before we got the player out. Then as much as I love Højbjerg, if there was a better upgrade coming in, then yes, I would.
It'd be a hard miss. It'd be a hard miss. I love the player too. I'm not as fanatical as you are about him, but I do think he's been brilliant for us, especially when he first came in. I think we all recognize he played way too much for a season and a half, 2 seasons. The first game he missed was 2 games ago. It's the first game he missed in a Spurs shirt, whether it was starting or coming off the bench. And I think he had basically started every game that he was able to as well. So, he brings more than just what he brings on the pitch. He's a leader as well. He's a Viking. His work rate, his effort is always there. Even when he has a bad game, he's still trying to have a good game. You know what I mean? Like even if he's tired and he's making mistakes, he's still putting the effort in. He's never lackadaisical. He's never soft. He's never like, oh, I'm tired, I don't want to work hard. Always works hard. So it would be a tough loss to sell him. Having said that, with what you said, sentiment in this club and in this this fan base, we have to get rid of it. We have to recognize if the player's better and it's going to get us to the place we've all dying to get to, which is winning some trophies, then we have to upgrade. And if there's an upgrade available, and we have to agree that the upgrade is an upgrade because he's a good player. He's a very good player and does what he does really well. That's not easy to find a player that is at a higher level than that in world football at the moment. So would I sell him for 40K? Like you said, only if there was a replacement and the replacement was demonstrably better based on statistics, based on what he's won before, based on leadership. If he can do all the things that Højbjerg does and better, then you got to take it. But you got to have a replacement for him. So I wouldn't sell him without a replacement.
So that's those questions. What we'll do is after we've done the ratings as well, anyone want to chuck questions in, just make sure you do at Tottenham On Tour.
And if you could chuck them in as super chats, we'd love some support there. I hate asking for this stuff, but we spent a lot of time on this. We put a lot of work into it. Any support you can give, they're really, really appreciated. It goes a long way to building the channel and getting, we're 4,000 subscribers. Everything happens so fast. We've got a lot of work we want to do, and we're going to need support to do it. So we'd appreciate that. Thanks for hearing me out on that.
So now we're going to get onto the rest of the player ratings. Yeah. Now we're going to deal with one more before we get to the controversial one, and I'm going to explain why it's controversial when we get there.
Sounds good.
But Kulusevski.
What are we calling him now instead of Kulu? Since it's
Decky.
Decky. So Decky, is that like Daehan? Is that
it's day? It's at the beginning of the day.
Oh, Decky. Okay, yeah. All right, I'll get Decky. So Decky, what I'm going to give Decky on this was really, really great to see. This was the player that I think we all hoped we bought. I know he wasn't perfect. I know he looks a bit slow at times. I know he looks labored, but his decision making, his football brain is really, really good. You could see his vision. You could see, obviously he scored a goal. He was right there for that pass from Sonny. Knew that he had to step back and pop that in. Great assist for Harry Kane's goal. I give him a solid 9, a Decky a 9 for me. I think, the only reason it's not a perfect performance from him is because of some of the moments, a little bit slow and a little bit kind of labored. And I think maybe that fitness thing will come with playing in the Premier League and playing under Conte for long enough.
Well, I agree with you. I gave a 9 as well, and a lot of people are giving a 9. And Peter Simmons has given a Simon. Sorry, I need to learn to read. Has given an 8.
An 8, but he's not slow. And this is the thing, Peter. He is slow running. Like if you ran beside the fastest players, he would not look quick. Hideki would be slow. But what he is quick about is decision making and his ability to shift and move into a better position to create something that is fast. It's not pace, but it's fast thinking, and fast thinking can go a long way at the highest level. If your brain is faster than the other player's brain, it doesn't matter how quick you run, because you've seen something they haven't, and he has that. I think that's the pace. It's football brain pace, not necessarily standard pace you have as far as how fast he can run. So I agree with you, Peter, that he's deceiving because of his ability to think faster than other players.
Well, it's the thing. I mean, I've likened him, and there's been a few people likening him. Teddy Sheringham didn't have pace, but he had a footballing brain that was 3 times quicker than pretty much anyone and everyone.
Great example.
And it looks like Kulu has got that kind of Decky. That's such an easy name to say, though. Okay, Decky. So he was fantastic. I mean, do you know what? To see someone on the right getting a delivery in, and all right, the offside goal, he could have had 2 assists, but he was going for Kane, and he found him twice. All right, the first one got a bit of a deflection, but his coolness in vital moments, in key places, and his decision making again to his football brain, and his weight of pass was absolutely unbelievable. So for me, it was a 9. I just want to say thank you to Mr. Birthday Boy from yesterday.
Cheers, Bobby.
Giving us the coffee votes, support these lads. Great chat. Thanks, Bobby. And I have to say, I have to admit, I'm checking Bobby into YouTube rehab when I get home, because he's become addicted to the bug of going on every stream, and he's been thoroughly enjoyable and loved by all the channels he's going on. He will be doing a lot of stuff with us. We love him dearly. He's a very, very, very close friend of mine. He's a family member, and he's loving it, and so are his kids. So,
cheers,
Bobby, I hope you had a good birthday yesterday, brother. And now we're going to get on the controversial one, which is Heung-min Son.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to say controversial, and I'm going to go into this in a bit. So I gave him an 8. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why this got controversial whilst I give him the rating. I gave him an 8, which is still a great mark. Because I've just found, since he's come back from his hamstring injury, which is fair play to him, a lot of the times in previous games, I only did it a couple of times in this, when he's clear through 1-on-1 or with a defender against him, rather than using that acceleration to get away from players, he's checking in a lot and slowing it down, which I can understand from a mental point. He's had a hamstring injury. He doesn't want to switch on the afterburners.
Being a bit careful,
because he doesn't want, and I get that. And also he had a shot where his shooting hasn't been as powerful. Like the one shot he had was like straight.
Yeah, he scuffed one. He scuffed one there when he got in. Yeah.
You know what? He created 2 goals. His relationship with Kane was back. He had a great performance, but those 2 things are why I gave him an 8. And when I did this on We Are Tottenham TV, thankfully, if this guy's in the channel or watching, a guy called SK, who was backing me up completely, I had a lot of people on there. When I say a lot, a few people were going on that I marked him down because he's South Korean. And because I don't like South Korea. And I was like, wait a minute. I've never, ever, in any stretch of the imagination,
we shouldn't even give these people airtime, Brian.
But this was it. This wasn't in the live chat.
I know, but it's just airtime even talking about them at all.
Of course. No, but I was just like, wait. And thankfully, the guy's going in there saying, what are you talking about?
Idiot.
And that's the only reason I gave it 8. I love Heung-min Son. I think he is absolutely fundamental to what Tottenham Hotspur do going forward. and I love him dearly. But it's just because he has set the bar so goddamn high for himself. And there's been a few occasions where he could have stretched his legs, and I understand why he didn't, because he didn't want to risk maybe mentally a house. Like when you see people coming back from a broken leg, they don't go
I
straight
feel you
in.
there. I get that. I think
So
I just
that's
want
why
to. Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
why I gave him an 8. What would you have given him, Brian?
I would give him an 8.5. If you read, I want to bring up Potomac's comments here. 95% pass completion, 3 big chances created, 2 assists. I mean, he had a great game. And now the reason that I would give him a less mark, because for the same reasons you did, exactly the same. I think, and I don't think that's controversial. I think if you're looking at it, he wasn't at his best. Had he been at his best, he probably would have scored as well, and it would have been a 9.5, because he was brilliant, except those couple of moments of decision making or physically unable to do something. Potentially that's the case. So yeah, but I don't think it's controversial. He was brilliant. He had a great game. But like you said, there's a couple of moments where it just seemed like maybe a full on ticking sun gets a goal and maybe creates one more chance. But still, wonderful performance. An 8.5, an 8.5 is not a bad score.
Exactly.
It's not a 9 or a 10. It's hard to not give all the players like a really high score in this game, because we are emotionally connected to what happened, and we got a result, a win against the best team in Europe, or arguably in the world at the moment. That in itself means that our ratings probably are a little bit higher, just from the emotional bias that's connected to it. But well worth it. And yeah, great performance from Sonny. He was fantastic. We got a super chat here from our one and only.
Hold the front page. Hold the front page. Hold the back page. Everything stopped before we speak about.
Look at that smoldering look in his face in that picture too. He's a beautiful human. What's up, Bobby?
Before we speak of man of the match, let's speak of man of the year, man of the month, man of
Bobby.
Everyone knows everyone's feelings towards this man. This is a very, very special VIP of VIPs. The reason I'm here, my left arm, this guy, honestly, and like I said, Bob, stop putting super chats. Anything you bring, we will bring up. Thank you for the support, Bobby.
Yeah, really appreciate
Bob,
it,
brother. Anything you put up, believe me, will be brought up, my brother. But thank you for the congratulations on the channel. It's been very big growth, Bob, whilst you've been away, and hopefully your channel will have exponential growth when you're back and fighting fit. And yeah, I cannot wait to see you tomorrow, mate. Absolutely.
One thing he mentioned here in his comments, top 4 has to be target now. 100%, Bobby. I think the top 4 is the target, and I depending on how you sort of translate what Conte said, I think Conte, it is a target for him. He's only saying that he's not used to it being a target. Normally his target is to win the league, so he's adjusting to the fact that in this case, getting top 4 is a target. We get top 4 with him as manager. He stays and he develops the team. He gets in the players he wants, and we put ourselves in a position next season to be in a conversation to comfortably top 4, maybe push some of the other teams a little bit higher than they're used to going. So 100% top 4 has to be the target. We can't afford to slip ups like against Wolves and Southampton, though. I'm sure Bobby would agree. And piss off, Bobby. I can't wait. I've been waiting to say that too. Potomac hits it as well. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got. I want to show. We've got to thank you, Billy, who was on the coach with me.
Billy, cheers, Billy. Appreciate it.
Congrats on 4K. Thank you, and good to see you back, Bob. Listen, I mean, since he's put that super chat in, or he's been just the love for this man.
Yeah,
is I was speaking with him yesterday. I'm seeing him tomorrow. It's just absolutely. Bob's Terry, right? You're right, but you need to give, like I gave Harry Kane on We Are Tottenham TV, 15 out of 10. Which we'll talk about in a second. But the love that this man is getting is unbelievable. So cannot wait to see him tomorrow. And yes, so after speaking about one legend, let's go down to a legend that's nowhere near Bob Spurs level. Let's talk about Harry Kane. As I said, I was just saying I gave him 15 out of 10 just because of everything that man did. Was incredible.
I mean, based on how we started the conversation off, we talked about Kane already, and my thoughts on his performance. Like you said, if you could rate it higher than the 10 that is supposed to be out of, it would be through the roof. It's a 10 out of 10 performance. It's the best performance he's had in a Spurs shirt, probably, and that's saying a lot. And again, we talked about it being one of the best performances we've seen in the Premier League. I think if we were, challenging for the top spot in the league and we were on in a title challenge, in those situations, and he had this performance, it would be considered one of the best, because of where we are and sort of where we've been in the last couple of seasons, and the sort of the road to try to getting ourselves to a point where we are competing in those conversations again. It's hard to say. It's hard to give it that level of praise, but yeah, I mean, easy 10 out of 10. What a performance! What a player! Like, just levels above his brain, his football brain. It's just getting better. This is the thing. I didn't think of after last season, after winning the Golden Boot and winning the most assists of the season as well, that he could get better. I mean, I know he started the season poorly. We all know why. We have to recognize that there's a reason for it, and I think be understanding of it based on the fact that he's been dealing with our club that we all complain about for the same reasons that he probably wanted to move on. So the fact that he's kind of back to his best and now doing it for us, and seems like he's bought into Conte. Conte is the only reason that he's playing at the level he is for Spurs. So yeah, absolutely brilliant from Kane, and just a joy to be loving him again and not being like slightly pissed off about what had happened. Not at him in general, but just slightly pissed off because it happened. But yeah, he's unreal and fantastic, and he was our talisman. I don't know that we'll see a better player in a Spurs shirt, modern player in a Spurs shirt, in a long time.
So before we deal with Conte, we've got a couple of super chats to get through. Kuva, thank you, brother. Kane was bang average, 13 out of 10, slightly better than Thor, but he's not Odin.
He's not Odin level. Yeah. Kuva.
The king of the one-liners, this man is. And we've got Cody at head of PR, and then you got this man, king of the one-liners, and then we got another one. It's a great comment actually from David Bosco. Top 4 is achievable, has to be a target, but most importantly, hurry up, back Bob Spur. Everyone feels the same way. So yeah.
Cheers, Brian, David, for your support, brother. We appreciate it.
Let's talk top 4 just before we do Conte.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's.
Do you think not we can get it? Do you think we do get it?
I don't think we do. I don't. I want to be that positive guy that says we do. We just beat the champions and we beat the best team in Europe, but we also lost 3 games in a row prior to that. This is an inconsistent side. This is a side that at its very best can compete with the best, and at its very worst will lose to some average teams. And if that has been the case the whole season based on statistics and data, it's likely going to be the same for the rest of the season, unless something dramatic changes. I had a feeling that we would get it previous to the Southampton Wolves results. I was ignoring the Chelsea one. I was kind of whatever, Chelsea results were Chelsea. We never do anything against them. I talk about bogey teams. But I thought we'd get in at least 4 points out of that Southampton Wolves. I thought Wolves would be when we maybe draw against, and we beat Southampton. And to lose both of those games, it just says to me that we're not quite there yet. And I do think we are thin squad wise. And if we do get a couple more injuries, which is likely, that we will lose a couple more games and we won't be able to get it over the line. United are firing right now. I think they're unbeaten in 6 or 7 games. They've won 4 or 5 of those games. They're probably the team that's going to finish 4th. I think Arsenal are right there as well. I do think we'll finish above them, and I think and I'm not really too worried about West Ham at all. But Wolves are right in the conversation as well. So there's a lot more teams involved in that 4th spot than we're used to. It's usually a couple of teams going for it. I think we have the chance statistically, if we go on a run, and I've said this before on the last few streams we've done, if Spurs can put a run together of 4 or 5 wins, not results, wins, where we get 3 points, and we can push ourselves and we win those games in hand we have against United, we can definitely get in front of them. But it's going to take that, and that isn't easy to do in this league, especially this season. This season, all the teams that are average mid-table teams are beating some of the top 6 on a regular basis, or competing with them at a level that I don't think we've seen in a long time. So it's a very, very competitive league this season, especially in that, from 4th position to 11th or 12th, there's not a lot of space in between them. Maybe closer to like 9th or 10th, but still there's some key games that need to be played. Of course, we've got to play United. United have to play City. I think they still have to play Liverpool. So there's some key games that, if they go the right way, then I might change my mind. But right now, I'm thinking we're probably going to finish 5th.
You know what? again, you and me, you see, it's not just our name. We're so in sync.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what?
just
If we beat Leeds and Burnley, it's a huge possibility. But why I think we just won't is the lack of depth. And you're asking those 11 players that technically played yesterday, bring in Skip and Reguilon, and it may rotate a fair bit. But I think you're asking 11 players, or let's say 13 or 14,
I think there's
to say not only 100% fit, but 100% on their game for every single game that's coming up. We've got to go to Anfield away.
We have the easiest run in though, Brian. When it comes to the rest of the teams in those positions, ours is probably other than United and Liverpool, we've played every other top 7 or 8 team at the moment. So most of our games, but sometimes that's even harder because you're coming up against teams that are going to be difficult.
My word.
Sorry,
stop taking my word.
I interrupt you and steal your thunder. Sorry about that.
with relegation struggles and wages halved and the community losing jobs for people, there's a lot riding on, and sometimes I think that's too much going on. But yes, so I agree with that. Now I can see he's still in the chat, obviously.
Cheers, David, for your support, by the way. I just appreciate the super chat.
But yeah, I just want to say, because this has been mentioned a lot. Thank you, Foden, for giving me the recognition. But I have to say, again, this isn't just me. Yes, it's been me because I've been obviously the one that's on YouTube all the time, and Bob's ex Tammy and his wonderful kids don't have the platform, and Kim, obviously, who I call Mary Poppins. Them two have been doing so much behind the scenes. That obviously we have a group that we all stay communicating in daily, and it's obviously rather than having to send tweets out, I have had the fortunate but unfortunate, if you know what I mean, platform to come out and keep everyone updated on where we are. So it's been an honour to do it, an unfortunate honour. But Kim and Tammy have been absolutely instrumental, and obviously Bobby's 4 kids who I've got to meet and know and speak to regularly have been through so much as well, especially as kids for obvious reasons. But yeah, it's hopefully me having to give you updates are coming to an end, and I can't wait for them.
I hope so. The next update I want is Bobby's voice telling me to piss off. I miss that so much. I want to see him hear his, I know that's a ways away still, but it's just from a selfish perspective. I think the community, the support, everybody's there for him, really just wants him to be at his best, and it's going to be brilliant when he gets there. Shout out to the boys that we were Tottenham TV. Just to let you guys know, we thanked you earlier, and of course we will thank you again and again for your support. Your guys' relationship with Brian has gotten a lot of to where we are. That relationship is because of you guys and you're bringing him onto the channel, and of course his ability to be good at that helps a lot as well. So it's been brilliant, your guys' support. So thanks so much. And
but now they're here. They know this and they hear it from me all the time. These 2 boys, I mean, I had the honour of going to their family for dinner, Jewish Friday night dinner on Friday. Any single second I can spend with them or be in their company is a blessing. They are 2 of the greatest guys you're ever likely to come across in your life. And I don't just say that because of what they do in the channel. I mean,
they're brilliant.
I told Ben and Simeon the other day, like when we started, Brian, and obviously I was going on the show, just getting Ben when he came on to Tottenham away was just like the biggest thing since sliced bread. It was like, oh my God, look, we've got him, he's coming. And my dream was to not just to speak to them on the stream, but to get friendly with them and forge a friendship, not just for YouTube purposes, but in general, because they're such wonderful guys. And then not only does that dream come true, the support they give to every single, you look at all other platforms and it looks like your Arsenal Fan TV or the United, they're in competition with each other. There's blatant, you don't see anyone collaborating or going on other shows or supporting each other. Well, rather than these 2 doing that, what they did is embraced all of us.
Yeah.
Embraced all of us. That man, Bob Spur, I don't know. I don't meet if it ain't for them. The Irish Hotspur, Matt Hayes, will
The whole community exists because of
exactly the
mothership.
entire community.
Yep.
All stems from the love, support, and dedication that these two do. Now, the great thing you've got to try and do, and I like playing this game, is you've got to work out if this is Ben or Sim.
Yeah. Do you want to do bets?
Let's have bets in the pit. Let's have bets. See who's coming on.
I'm always betting on Ben because Sim rarely gets in the comments. Sim is he's a quiet guy. He likes to he likes his.
See. It was Ben last time when he came on the show, and maybe we'll put the link out later.
I've only ever had Ben in the comments or on the show. I've only met Sim on a WhatsApp conversation. So, yeah. Oh, so Danny's already
started. There's people thinking it's Sim. Oh no, Danny's changed his mind. So it was Simeon when Antonio Conte the first time. I'm going to put the link out, and we'll get one of them. We'll see if they're still available. We'll put the link out so people can come on and whatever. The very first time when Conte fell through, when I was on a stream with Mr. Danny Kerry. Oh, it's all over. It's all over. He's got to spoil it.
He's done it. It's Ben.
He's got to spoil it. Okay. So I'm guessing it's Ben. I'm guessing it's Ben, unless that's a double bluff and it's Sim.
Well, he said Ben. It's Ben. So we're going to go with it.
We'll go with Ben, but like I said...
Cheers, Ben. Appreciate you being here, brother.
I'm going to say the most stupidest thing I think I've ever said on the stream.
Oh, God.
If there's anyone out of the 100 people watching that aren't a subscriber to We Are Tottenham TV,
yeah,
go over there. Go over there, because those two are... Like, people know, obviously, I've got my tattoo. I'm at the moment discussing my imaging and marketing rights with them, because every picture I get put on Twitter, I'm wearing a We Are Tottenham something.
You know what I want? You know what I want to shout out to them on as well. I watched their video of the 100,000 subscribers video, and they interviewed who's your favorite guest on the fan channel or the fan episodes or fan streams, and it was like basically 90% Brian Daigle, and so I thought that was fantastic. So thanks for that for us too, and I'm sure that helps on a regular basis.
You know what? That's another thing they did. It was such a great night for the 100,000 subscriber party. A load of us got together to celebrate their huge and well-deserved milestone.
Yeah, stuff.
Just everything they do. I definitely know it's Ben now. It's not even a double bluff. This is Ben. This is definitely Ben.
It's so true. It's so true too.
Listen, do you know what it is as well? What I will say about that is, ever since I've gone on that channel, I've stuck with the same message. And yes, I do comedic value, and yes, I go on those legendary rants in the past where I've shouted and screamed, but it's working with them. It's me saying live on TV, if Conte signs, I'll get a tattoo. It's all them. But yeah, let's deal with Antonio Conte, and then I think we should put the link in, and we'll see if anyone wants to join and come with us, because there's 92 people in, and like I said, we wouldn't have hit 4,000 without these 92. And let me do my math: 3,908 others.
If you haven't smashed that like on the video itself, we'd love it if you did. I don't know what we're at right now. I don't have it open on my phone, but the more likes we get, the better for the channel. So yeah, if you don't mind, smash that like button.
Likes.
Oh, come on. We're 92 people. We need to get to 50, and Brian will get a tattoo.
Look at that. I beg your pardon? You mean you? But also, before we deal with Conte,
yeah, we got a special guest
to join us. So let's bring him in. You can bring him in, but let me just let's everyone get warmed up. And everybody, it's Danny Kyriacou. It's Danny Kyriacou. Congratulations on 4K, brother.
What's up, Danny?
Congratulations, boys. Wow, it's unbelievable. How's everyone doing?
We're doing wonderful, buddy. It's been a good weekend for being a Spurs fan, having a Spurs channel across the board. Lovely day. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right. I just got back from one of my clients, so I've got a bit more work to do, but I thought I'd jump on for like 10-15 minutes or so, just come and say hello and congratulate everyone and all the work, especially you two put in, especially you, Brian, you slag, Brian Daigle. You know who I'm talking about.
Hey, I do all the slag behind the scenes, He's the slag in front, I'm the slag behind.
The two slags we should call the show, not the two Brians, the two slags.
Kluber's right. Maybe that he's been very funny. My own troll again, my Gascoigne troll. It's not bad. I did get a Gaza tattoo actually.
Yeah, it's a good one, man. That one you won't regret. We need to get more something you'll regret. It's more fun.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh, that's not a bad idea. I've now got it in my thought. But yeah, Danny, 4K, brother, and it's good to see you. It's been a while since we've seen you.
I know, mate. It's been well, obviously I wasn't streaming for 2 weeks when Simon was here, pretty much. So I've been a bit on a few other people's shows, and then yeah, I know you guys were doing the show which I watched yesterday with the quiz on Spurs related, which was a really good show actually.
It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, if anyone hasn't seen it, they should go check it out.
Those guys did an amazing job.
They really
did. It's a great channel.
Yeah,
yeah. But Ireland, you are a sore loser, man. You are.
I wasn't being a sore loser. That's not true.
Sore loser.
No, I would say David's the sore loser, not me.
Do you know what? But both of you are. To be fair, I'll be honest. Both of you.
We were just being competitive. It was a good laugh.
Of course,
we laughed about it afterwards.
Yeah. I'm winding you up a bit.
I know. It's good. It's fine. You get on here. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. You get on here and wind me up.
I know. I just want to say congrats again, man, because you two put in so much work. And I know I joined the channel just before it started kind of going a bit mad and saying all the work that Brian was doing and everyone was doing. And yeah, it's come on leaps and bounds, and it's long may it continue, really. And also, I just want to say, Bob Spur, it's so good to see him in the comments,
Danny?
man.
Yeah,
I know. Oh, what a man! I love him, man. I fucking love him. I can't wait to see him as well. And yeah, same here, Bob. I texted him earlier on. Actually, I messaged him saying I can't wait to see him. And yeah, it's going to be good when we see him again to see him, because you can see in the comments that is Bob Spur coming back.
Yeah, the personality is coming through the comments. The personality is coming
through the comments. You can see it, and I just can't wait to see his face again. So it's going to be good when that happens. But yeah, it's everything's looking good. Tottenham beat Man City. Bob Spur's coming back. We've got 4K. I mean, it's been a great week, to be honest, isn't it?
It's been a great week after such a crap week last week. You know, it's like...
last week was a fucking worst week.
Talk about the fun of being a Spurs supporter, right? Like it's like the epitome of it. 2 weeks from one to the next.
Literally, you get the most lowest lows and the highest highs. There's no in the middle ground between with Tottenham fans and Tottenham.
Doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Either you're really good or you're really shit, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it wasn't us.
Yeah, it wasn't us. Ben, we lost by 2 points. It was close. They were
it was close.
They were very on. We were very on. I thought we did really well. It just didn't expect them to do as well as they did. I thought David was obviously cheating. So
Jack was pretty good, but I think quite a few he guessed though. But he was pretty good.
Joe was there was a. Yeah, I know, Ben. I know. I'm just a champion on your channel. But do you know what happened?
I agree, Ben. Yeah, I agree too. I was his partner. I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
He let the boys down. He let the team down.
No. There was the Gaza one, which I hold my head in shame. I hang my head in shame. Sorry. But also there was one about Don't Ben. I'm not asking how I can get the Gaza one. I can't. It scarred me for life.
He's still dying. He's still dying, Ben. Just leave.
I have a little bit of me died inside. But yeah, the one that got me, and I literally, I literally, there was that picture of Toda or Lee Young Pyo, and I said it's probably a red herring. It can't be Lee Young Pyo.
I don't know why you thought that was Lee Young. You went for Lee Young Pyo.
You know why he went for it? And I take. This is where I take responsibility. I also thought it was him, and so because we both thought it. Well, I didn't know, and it was the one I could think of. And
Toda was a Japanese, wasn't he? He was a Japanese player.
Yeah, and you can tell. He actually looks Japanese too by looking at the picture.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You're right. You're right. And I
couldn't believe both of you didn't get that one.
I take full responsibility for it. Because I couldn't think of the other guy, and it was the only one I could think of, and that just shows my own ignorance. So I apologize. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a brilliant show,
lot of fun.
Man.
We had a good
really
time.
Good. And the quiz.
It was a great quiz, but don't worry, there's a rematch. And when the rematch,
it's gonna be. But you're involved in the rematch, Danny. You got you and Ads both coming on the rematch.
Oh, wicked! I'm up
for apparently they're gonna get. I think they said they're gonna get Sean Butler and someone else. So it's a full-on Tottenham on tour versus Irish, whatever. But this is the one everyone wants to see. Simeon.
Oh man, they're too good though. They're too good. Yeah, I watched their. I mean, it's ridiculous the shit they know.
They are good, but I reckon maybe we'll get a three-way, or we should do a massive round table. Bobby,
you know what we could do? Each one of us gets one of them. So we take Ben, they take Sim, or vice versa, on the next one, and they're on that. That's how we split it up. So it's more fair than any of us having to go against them in general.
Or I have to say, Bobby K came up with the idea as well to do like a World Cup of quizzes. So we get all the teams together, and have a knockout right through to the final.
I'm into it.
And I think that would be
That's a good
wicked.
idea.
Let's
That's
chat
a
with the
good idea.
boys at Spurs related because they organize that so well,
Oh,
and
brilliant.
I don't want all the work to do it.
It was.
I got too much stuff going on. Man.
It was a lot of work, and Cole Simpson. Don't say this to me because if he was, not that he was, but if he ever was, and saw me get a call, oh my God, I don't know what I'd do to myself.
Brian kept comparing me getting the question about the Asian player wrong, equivalent to him getting the Gaza wrong. I'm like, come on, mate.
There's no comparison there, Brian. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to live this down. I need to come off for a week or so and let this die down. Kuva is trolling the crap out of me.
I love it. Kuva, keep it coming, Kuva. Keep it coming. It's fucking good content. Good content.
But yeah, so Danny, how long you got with us?
I could stay for a little bit longer, 15 minutes probably.
All right, so let's just get your general general thought of the Manchester City game, and then we're all going to do Conte's 10 out of 10 rating because me and Brian have given our evaluation. So what's your views on that day, that game?
I mean, the first half was like obviously the first. I think we needed to score fast, like first, if we wanted to have any chance in that game to even get a draw. Even that was my initial thinking when we first went into it. Like, and I said as well on, I can't remember whose stream it was the night before the game. I said that if Spurs, I thought they were going to lose, but I said if Spurs were to have a chance, they have to match them with aggression, desire, fight. And they just have to be passionate. They have to have passion, and that's exactly what they had. They didn't stop, and that it was just a brilliant game of football because we basically what's so funny is that we do this time and time again against them, and they keep repeating the same mistake every time. It's like they know exactly. We're just gonna give them the ball and just play on the counter. And if Son is playing as that front man, as what he pretty much was doing, Kane is just going to thread him through all day, and that's exactly what happened. And Kane, like Bobby said it, and like as in Bob Spur and loads of people said it, Kane's performance was the best performance, an individual performance of a Premier League player this season by a mile. He was like God mode. It's like you put a cheat on him on that game, and God mode was activated, and he was bullying players. His passing of both feet. Everything about that performance was unbelievable from him. He was just that was peak Harry Kane. That's the Harry Kane we want to see the rest of the season.
I said to Brian earlier, Danny, that it's the best he's probably ever played in a Spurs shirt. I didn't think he was going to necessarily get better than he was last season. What he did last season, this was like the epitome of it in one game. He did everything. He was a great 10. He was a great 9. His hold up play was amazing. He played 2 positions, scored,
dribbling past players, holding off the ball,
just everything. Complete performance,
and I think it was a credit to the team as well. I think Romero again shows his world-class potential again. He's just phenomenal defender. Dyer, I think Dyer coming back in was I think it was so important for this team because it gave them more a voice, a leader in that back. It gave them more stability, and you can see what's so amazing is as soon as Dyer comes back into the team, that confidence in that defense rises like
changes
3
completely.
levels. It's insane. It's fucking, and to think that we're saying this about Eric Dyer is just unbelievable. And I think it was, I can't remember who said it, right? I think it was Will, actually. It was Will Stewart, right? He was saying on We Are Tottenham TV that when with Dyer, right, last season was his first full season as a centre-back, right? And he was awful. This season, as soon as Conte's come in, he's just gone from strength to strength. And his what I've seen about Dyer this season is his matureness in defending, and he's positionally aware, he's calm on the ball, and he can actually progress the ball. He's quite decent on the ball. He's not the greatest, but he's decent on the ball.
It's decent. It's that midfield play that got him to that, right? He's a bit more composed than your average center half. Right?
And you can see his passing ability has gone up a notch this season, like from passing from the back, playing from the back. And he's just given those defenders either side of him like so much more confidence that they know that they've got someone reliable there, and they can go out and play their game. Romero, he's unbelievable. Like he's just a sensational defender. And I think Bentancur and Højbjerg were also key. I think because them two were just they were like warriors in that game. They just did not stop. I know Bentancur and Højbjerg both lost possession a lot of times, but and we're lucky we didn't get punished for it. But what they did do, especially Bentancur, he was progressing the ball. He was trying to run. He was running forward with the ball. He was driving. He was clever with his passing. His passing is brilliant.
Really good, really good vision, isn't
and
he?
He has, and even in his confidence is what you want in a midfield, because even in like the 90th minute, right, when it's 2-2 and we're defending after Man City had scored the goal, there was one bit where he did like a little piece of skill in our box, and I don't know if
I've seen the replay of it. It's ridiculous.
If you've seen the replay, and he did some ridiculous skill, and it's like, oh man, what a player.
Class. He's class.
Yeah, he's class.
Yeah, for sure. He's a level above, I think, what we thought we got when we brought him in.
I think so. And you know what? It's so good that we went for him now, because he was close to going to Villa. And if we weren't interested in him, he would have gone to Villa. So I think it was important that we got him in. And I think he's exactly a type of Conte player. And Kulusevski as well. I mean, he was brilliant. Obviously, we know he's not the fastest, but he's very intelligent. And we've got someone who can potentially now cross a ball. I mean, fucking, can you believe we've got a footballer who can cross a ball?
A winger. A winger
who can cross a fucking ball. You wouldn't believe it, would you?
Imagine that.
Oh, fucking hell, Tottenham, man. It does it to you.
But before we get on to Conte, I just want to say, Ian Cook, thank you for the super chat, mate.
Cheers,
do you know what? It really was a great quiz, and everyone go check out Spurs Related, because they're a great couple of guys. It's a great channel, and you know what, Brian? Who would have thought an Englishman and a Canadian would work so well, eh?
Yeah, right. That's surprising.
Colonial
pricks.
Exactly. Just before we talk about Conte, I just think we've got another super chat in from
cheers,
the wonderful Ellie. Here's some dough for the days you stood outside in the protests. Levy and Enoch, you're absolutely brilliant, man. Mr. Daigle, we all salute you. Listen, again, now this has come up. I'm just to talk about this before we actually get round to bloody talking about Conte, which has been like 45 minutes ago.
He's worth the wait.
And then we're going to put the link out. But I'm going to say, because there's people like Graham that is in the chat right now. Again, kind of like with the Bob Spur thing, I'm just lucky enough that I've had the platform and the mouse to be able to talk about Levy out and be the bulletin board and the message on YouTube about Levy out. Now, whether you've agreed with me, completely disagree with me, kind of, but don't, wherever you stand on this spectrum, I am the one that's had this platform, so it's been able to get the message out a lot quicker and a lot wider. But there are so many people in the background that also deserve a hell of a lot of credit. And Graham is one. Ryan, who I don't think is in the chat, is probably at work, is another. There are so many I could mention, but Graham has been to everything with everyone, and deserves the same amount of respect and everything, as does Ryan and all the others. But like I said, I don't want to say the face. I don't want to sound too big, but because I'm on here, I'm the one.
You got the place to do it, so it makes sense.
I've got the place, and obviously I'm very vocal on Twitter, which also about this, which also works as a positive and a negative for me personally. But Ellie, thank you very much for the contribution and donation, Ellie. It's wonderful to see you in here. We will be putting the link out shortly, but now
let's start with Danny on this, because we know he doesn't. Yeah, Danny doesn't have a ton of time.
We'll start with Danny, then we'll go to you, Ireland.
I can stay a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll probably do a bit of work in between when people start coming on. So I'll stay on, but I'll just do some work as well.
Sounds good.
But yeah, go for it.
So on your thought, yeah, go ahead, Brian.
Go on, Dan.
What would I give him out?
Well, out of 10, ranking out of 10, thoughts on his tactical performance, ideas, how he set up. Everything was spot on, bang on, other than the 2 goals this year, which aren't really his fault. But thoughts?
Yeah, I think. I mean, for me, that's a 10. That's a masterclass performance from Conte. That was a 10 out of 10. He had everything. I think. Yeah, I think. The only thing I would have said was maybe I would have brought on Steven Bergwijn instead of Mora. That's the only change I would have maybe swapped. But other than that, everything was spot on. I think he's now like it was the perfect players for the formation he wants to play, because obviously we saw how in the second half it kind of went to like a 4-5-1, didn't it, or like a 3, or whether formation it was.
There was 6 at the back at one point.
Yeah, it was like, and then you saw Son and Kulusevski were basically playing as wing backs as well at times, covering the players who were in that position anyway. So it was like they were marking up a lot and they were just putting bodies. We're playing quite narrow as well, and you could see how narrow we were playing, and I think that helped stop them play their game as well. And I think that was that was a very, very clever move from Conte. And I think he said it in the pre-match, right? He said, if you want to beat City, you have to be tactically perfect. You have to play a perfect game. And I think he was exactly spot on. We played a perfect game. We utilized them. When we had space, we had clinical chances. Like, we had more clinical chances than they did. And that tells you, if we actually took a few more of those chances, we could have scored even more goals. We know that they could have scored goals as well. Don't get me wrong. But I think we had a lot more clear-cut chances. And I think we utilized the counter-attacking style of football that he implemented for that game, because ideally you're not going to go and have, especially with the players we have, we don't have the quality to have the ball, like to outplay them with the ball possession and stuff, and have like this really high intense press kind of thing. But we managed it perfectly throughout the whole game. And I just think I think what he needs to do now is he needs to try and manage his squad. And I think you're going to see when Skip comes back, it's going to be, hopefully, if he comes back, it's going to be a breath of fresh air, because he's going to allow that rotation between
the rotation we need big time.
Yeah,
to keep them both firing properly and
exactly,
staying fit.
because I think it's a given that Bentancur's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet now. But I think if we can shut up shop like in games maybe a bit earlier than we'd like, then I think you'll see him come off for Skip for Winks. Unfortunately, just because he's trying to preserve his energy so he can keep him at a top level for the rest of the season. And I think that's what he's going to try and manage now. I think that's the hardest thing he's going to manage, because we all know, right, if this team that we have, this first 11 that played on against Man City, which I think, apart from Reguilon, right, coming back in, I think that's probably our best 11 right now, right? I think that is the best 11. And
the fifth member of Tottenham on tour.
Yeah, he's my guest pup here today. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, and I think I think if we want to get the top four, I think they have to stay fit, all of them. So that's where he's going to have the biggest trouble trying to manage the injuries and fitness and stuff like that. And we have to wait and see what happens. But it was a brilliant performance from Conte.
Yeah, I mean, I'd same thing for me. It's 10 out of 10 performance. What did you think, buddy? 10 out of 10? Yeah.
I don't know why I was waiting for him to actually answer.
Yeah.
I thought he said 12 out of 10.
I want to add something that, from a tactical perspective, that I think is incredible to point out. Something that is obvious when you get City playing out of their usual patterns. What City normally do, almost always, when they're playing well, is get the ball to the touchline, the opposition's touchline, and push it back into the box. They score a lot of their goals. Probably 80% of their goals are scored with that similar tactic, getting it really deep, getting in behind, and cutting it back in. Not wide, not far where it's across, but where it's on the ground, and any one of their really good players can get in there and manage it. It's really telling when in the 65th, 70th minute, all they're doing is crossing the ball with zero when they don't have a center forward. No center forward, nobody to get on the end of any of the crosses, but they have no other ideas. That says everything about, tactically speaking, how we set up. What you said, Danny, about us being narrow, that narrowness forced them out to the outside because they didn't have anywhere in the middle they could go or build up in the middle, and they crossed the ball in, and our defenders easily defended it. It was absolutely spot on, beautiful tactical understanding of what you need to do against a City side that, if you give them that spaces in the middle, they will destroy you. And he nailed it.
And he did nail it. And to add to that, I think what was more important as well, right? So he the tactics that he set out for the game was spot on, but he still had to rely on the defenders not to make mistakes, like individual mistakes, which we've seen in the last couple of games, right? And none of them did. They all were brilliant. And I think the players that were there helped with that confidence and that ability, because I think Dyer was key. I honestly think Dyer was key to the reason why we were so comfortable. We didn't look like we were gonna concede a goal like easily. Do you know what I mean? We looked really comfortable in defense. And even Emerson, he had a decent game. And in the first half, they were just giving him possession. They were giving him space because they knew he couldn't cross a ball, right? Yeah. So they weren't attacking him when he was in the final third. But in the second half, he hardly got across that halfway line. And I think that's because I think he probably told him he wants to just sit, like, just to do your job, basically, do the defensive side of the game, which is what you're good at. And I think he did that well.
Yep.
And I think Emerson, Dyer, and Romero, that every time the ball came into the box, you're right, Brian, they were clearing out every single time.
Yeah, and nobody, they don't have a center forward. So if you force them out wide and you force them to cross the ball into a player that isn't on the end of it because they don't have anybody who is, you've done your job. You've done your job there, tactically speaking, and made them like look pretty average when it came to actual quality chances, which you pointed out. Quality chances were few and far between for them. And, I think they had 22 chances. I think 2 or 3 on goal, and we had like 7 or 8 and like 6 on goal.
Yeah,
so it's the different. That's the difference, right? It's like the quality of the chances and the ability to recognize what they're good at and not let them play their game. And again, tactically spot on from Conte.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to add to that? I'm literally going to add a couple of. It's a 10 out of 10 for me, but 2 things that I'm going to bring up that obviously you two didn't in your wonderful analysis is, first of all, Conte had a lot to deal with coming into this game. The back of 3 defeats.
Yeah, never lost 4 in a row in any league.
The whole controversial with the fans and that interview. The knives were not for him, but the knives were out for Tottenham Hotspur. And going 1-0 up and then conceding just before half-time, he had to rally the troops. Then the 2-2, when they scored that controversial penalty right at the death, to rally the troops to say, just hold it tight or go, just to keep going. His celebration at the end and everything, and then just the mentality to get that done, to see it through. And like I said, he had so much. There was so much looking on this. I mean, Sky Sports were. I don't know if you saw the profile picture where they did Man City and then Spurs with all the letters falling down. Everyone was looking at this thinking, okay,
we're going to get spanked.
It's going to be a spank, and it's just how quickly a City going to score, and then how many.
I love ruining the Sky Sports agenda because it's so obvious and blatant.
Yeah,
they're not even trying to hide it. It's pathetic.
Yeah. It was just a wonderful thing, and the way he displayed it, and obviously to see the return of Conte going wild on the pitch is always worth an extra mark as well, because when he ran into the crowd of people, it was just absolutely insane and brilliant, and it was an absolute spot-on, flawless tactical masterclass.
Yeah, it was.
In what he did. So yes, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go make a cup of coffee because I need one, funny enough. I'm going to put the link in now.
Okay.
So people can come and join us and have their say and talk about whatever they want to. Are we going to do the 10-minute thing again?
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. We'll bring each person in for 10 minutes if they want to hop on, and we'll try to get through that 10 minutes with giving you as much.
So do one of you want to get the timer ready? Because I'll be making a coffee.
I'll look at my watch. It's fine.
Okay. Cool.
If folks want to hop on, hopefully we'll get some people in there. That we've put it in the link is in the comments now, folks. So if you want to hop on and have a chat, we will go one at a time. We'll max out at probably about 4 or 5 people, just because these conversations go on, and we've already been going an hour and a half, and I got a dog here who's been waiting for me to take him for a walk for a while, so that's going to have to happen in the near future. So Brian, go get your coffee, and
I'll do that.
Danny and I'll keep chatting. I'll go through some of the comments here, Danny. Go for it. Say hello to some of the peeps and respond to some of the comments. So back Conte says Conte was spot on making City go wide and cross. Yeah, that's to my point, 100%. Yeah, it worked very well. Conte got everything right. 10 out of 10. His celebration after the game, again, winning goal was incredible to see. It is, Danny, like the passion that's there, and he cares so much about the team that he's coaching. He puts everything into it. And
do you know what as well, Brian? What I love about him, right? He is. I was saying this the other day, right? He is. It's like he's Tottenham through and through. Because when we're losing, he's like, when we lose games, he's so down. He's so depressed.
It hurts him.
He's like, it really hurts him, and he's like, the level of Tottenham is not so high. And as soon as we win like that, he's like, I love these players. One of the best bunch of players I've ever worked with. He's such a Tottenham.
To be fair to him, a lot of it gets taken out of context too. When he said that, I don't think he means they're the best in quality. I think he just likes them as people.
No, he does. He actually said that. He actually said they're as people. I think he actually said in his post match that as people they are amazing people, and as players they're a good group of players to work with. But as people, they're just amazing. Yeah. And I think it's because obviously I think now he's starting to see the players that he wants. Basically that they're going to do what he's asked them to do, right?
Yeah,
and I think once he starts getting more quality of players and more of those type of players to do what he really wants and fight for him, like Kulusevski, like Bentancur, we get more of them. This team's got it's got so many possibilities.
It's a solid base now we have to work from with a couple, maybe, you know, I think we all recognize there's still a couple of players that we need
a class player, right? In through the whole team. So we need a class centre back, right? Another class midfielder, and we need another class striker. And then after that, we do need a better right wing.
And we need a better backup keeper at the moment as well.
We do, and another left centre back as well, because Ben Davies can't have another whole season, because if he gets injured, we ain't got no one who can play that.
Yeah, who plays there? I mean, I guess it's Rodon, but even that is a bit nerve-wracking.
I think Rodon and Tanganga are going to leave in the summer. I actually got a funny feeling they're going to both leave.
I can see it.
Tanganga will leave on loan, and if they can't get a permanent deal for Rodon, they'll get him out on loan as well. But it depends on if a club pays 25-30 million pounds for Tanganga. I'd sell him, if I'm honest. I would like to see him go, but you can go and get someone you actually need more.
Yeah,
right
is
now
he going to be better than what we have, or as good as what we have at the
maybe
best?
Maybe in a couple of years, but we ain't got a couple of years to wait.
I don't think so. You know, as much as I love player coming through the academy, and
same here,
it's nice to see that stuff. You have to be realistic about what their level is, and he showed from a work rate and from an effort level that he can compete, but he can't do it week in, week out, because he isn't good enough, and that's an issue.
I think you're right. That's the biggest issue with him. He's just technically not good enough.
Yeah, he cares enough, but he's just his ability on the ball is not up to snuff.
Yeah,
to play at the level we need to be at, and that's just where it's at. He's a mid-table center half for any mid-table team in the Prem, and arguably a top of the championship. I could see him, competing, and at Bournemouth, he'd be fantastic.
You never know. You might get a European club like an AC Milan again, try come back in for him, and if they do, I'd sell him. 100%.
It could suit him in that league as well, because it's more defensive. It's less about how quickly you move the ball. You're under less pressure. Might suit him better. Some more of the comments. Clement says, for me, spot on with Bentancur, Højbjerg, Kulu, Dyer. Made our team strong 100%. I think it's hard to argue that. You watch the spine of the side, and the organization that Dyer brought to the team was massive. So really huge. Jeep says skip for Højbjerg. I would say that normally, but Højbjerg in this game was fantastic, so it's hard to argue that.
Yeah, he was, but I do think that's probably going to be what Conte will do when he get.
I think that's a rotation he's going to use a lot.
No, it will be 100%. And but I do think that Skip will probably be his first choice, and once he's fit and firing. But I think you're right, because he's going to have to rotate them, because they're going to need to rest.
And you want competition in that position, especially because it's such a gritty position.
100%. And the thing is, we've all been calling for Højbjerg to have a fucking rest. He had a rest, and look what it did. Look what it did. It gave him that
a rest and probably a shot to his ego, a touch, which for him is good, because he needs to be, oh, hey, wait a minute, you weren't good enough. Oh shit, I gotta improve. Just in his head, because he's such a competitor, he's going to respond to that, and he responded brilliantly. So.
Can I just point out one thing that was quite funny?
Yeah, of course.
I think Simeon posted it in the watch along group chat that we have, and it was a clip. I don't know if you've seen it. A clip of when near the end of the game, when Doherty made a block. And then
and he goes,
I think that was brilliant. I mean, he must have been challenging in a Højbjerg there. Do you know what I mean?
It was a good block though. Like he stayed with the player. I mean, the player was that's a position where City score from. So to be in that position, to get the block and to be pumped about it, I think he'll probably start the next game. And I think against Burnley, that's probably for the best. Yeah, I think he will. I think. I mentioned this before you hopped on. It's not to say that I think he's better than Emerson. No. I think Emerson's a better defender, but against Burnley, we need to break down Burnley, and that's going to be we need somebody who can cross the ball. I'm not saying he's a brilliant crosser of the ball, but he's better than Emerson.
He's a bit better than Emerson. Yeah, he's a little bit better.
Yeah, just a bit, but it's that little bit against a team that you are going to struggle to get in behind is going to come into play. So I think he'll probably end up playing there. When I forget who it was we were playing against when he got in behind. I think it was Leicester when we came back, and he was good in that game and good in the opposition box, and that's where we need him to be good, and he'll get that opportunity against a team like Burnley.
I hope so. It was the best performance we've ever seen Matt Doherty in a
I was
Spurs
hoping
shirt.
to see that consistently from that point, and he didn't really play a lot afterward.
He had one chance, and then he was back to normal Doherty again, and it's like, there he is.
Yeah, so we got a guest who's going to join us in the background there. He hasn't got his camera on, so Bobby, are you available to join us? Yes, he is. Okay,
Oh, he's got his camera now.
There he is. Look at how sharp he looks. I bet you he sounds really good too.
I'm working on it, Brian. I'm working on it.
I know you look good.
I put the mic where you told me to.
Sounds great.
Put the light where you told me to.
Looks
light's
good.
not the right light, so I've got to get rid of this light because
you got a hot spot on your sign behind
there.
you there.
Yeah, so I've worked on the audio end of it. I fixed my hair.
Yeah,
one other thing.
The space between the space between the top of your head and the top of the screen is a bit too big.
Too much. Okay.
Bobby, do you know what?
The IT, Danny. 1 second. We'll get to your song in a second,
perfect,
Danny.
Buddy.
One moment.
Do you know what, Bobby? You're showing Daigle up.
Can you see the logo? Wait.
Yes.
Yeah. You're showing.
Is that good?
So Danny.
Sorry. Tech support first, boys.
He actually listened to me. You look great, Bobby. He actually listened to me. Bride just is like, I don't know how to do it, and just ignores it.
Yeah, I know. Bobby's showing him up.
You had all that time to say it when I was off camera, and you say it when I'm on camera. We know that I've got my tablet or my laptop that we ordered, but for some reason there's a lag every time that I use the microphone on it, which needs to be sorted.
Yeah.
But it's all good. But Bobby, first of all, how was your birthday yesterday, brother?
Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah, we can't start with that. We can't start with that stuff. You know that. Every time I see Danny, we have to start with do. It's Danny Kyriacou. Do. Because it seems like every time I see Danny, it's after we're celebrating a victory. So let's keep this trend going. If we get to sing the Danny Kyriacou song, it's because we've won. So Brian, my birthday was awesome. You're obviously one of the main reasons for that. Getting all these people to say happy birthday to me and sending me all this love and everything. So it was much appreciated. I got one more white hair yesterday to add to the collection, but we're going to chalk that as up as experience. And I'm a distinguished.
You're distinguished YouTuber now, Bobby, in such a short time.
I'm working on it. You're the one giving me the tips.
Your rise to the top has been faster than anybody in YouTube history. So
welcome. But you know what? It's been easy for me because all I've done is jump on all your coattails.
That's it.
you guys put in the hard work, and I said, "Oh, look, they've cleared the path. All I've got to do is walk. The door's open too. The red mat's out. I gotta buy a decent light, and I had to buy a microphone and get my laptop upgraded. Yeah, that's it. It's all IT support thanks to Tottenham On Tour.
That's what we do here. That's what we do.
I think it's only fair because you guys, you are part and parcel of the reason I have this horrible addiction now. And I was shaking because it had been 24 hours since I had been on a stream. So what? I'm glad to see Brains in here because Brains, I've never had the opportunity to speak to you yet or anything, but I absolutely adore you. This guy he's freaking awesome. He's probably one of my favorite guests I ever see on any of the shows. I just absolutely adore him. He's so awesome. Yeah, absolutely adore the guy. Nice, and gentlemen, of course, 4K.
Yeah.
Congratulations all around. I'm not going to give Brian Daigle a hard time regarding the audio and the poor visual and everything and the shadowing and everything. And right now we can see that little thing off the left there. And then there's that bad angle in the corner. Right. I'm not going to talk about the things you taught me about Ireland because technically he's in mobile mode right now. So for the guy to be doing this for anywhere he can be in the world, God bless you, Mr. Daigle.
Why? Thank you, sir. And I must admit, I've even got William Pretty, who is a blatant Irish Hotspur fan yesterday, and always is, and a great dude though. I am Jesus Christ. What can I say? Listen, it's going to take a little while for me to swallow this pill. I think it's going to take a little while, but it's totally deserved. It's totally deserved.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey,
what's up, Chris? You good?
You can't hear you. You can't hear you. That's why. Here, there you go. Now you can hear them. They were saying good morning.
What's up, Chris?
Good morning.
What's up?
That's Danny
right,
down there, and then that's the other Brian. The
What's
other
up,
Brian.
buddy?
You've seen him already, but that's the man they call the bun. That's the one we were singing. That Danny Kyriacou. That's the one we're singing for.
It's transcendent.
He is now. Okay.
I'm lucky. You know what? Honestly, that's going to be a Christmas #1 around the world next year.
I am making a track of this. I am sampling it. I will make a tune. It's coming out in the near future.
Well, we put a Daigle song together. Danny's got a song, so we're gonna have to work on.
We're gonna do a whole album.
Ben and Simeon wrote one for me.
Tottenham On Tour album.
So
Christmas record, maybe.
Exactly. I've got Ben and Sim already put one up for me, so I'm set already. I got in here and I got a song on my third broadcast. This is awesome.
I know it's impressive that happened so fast.
Yeah. It is. It's Danny, Cody, and you that have got songs on YouTube. You're the three. You're the
impressive,
three.
Bobby,
I don't know.
Impressive. Let's talk some football again here, guys. Bobby,
Let's do it.
Let's get into a little bit. We've already wasted 4 minutes of Bobby's time, so we'll give him a couple extra minutes because we talked about tech support for too long. Bobby, thoughts on the result against City and what we've been talking about in over the course of this pod.
So we're a little bit going too far now with the time and everything. So I'll keep it short and I'll just say, woo!
Nice.
Go buy a striker, City. Not ours. Not ours.
Yeah, exactly. Not ours.
Yeah. Keep your hands off there, Pella.
Hey, good morning, Nick, Barry, Sean, Kevin, James, Ricky. Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was buzzing. Like I was telling Brian, you guys know I coach my boys. Their football is on Saturday, so unfortunately, we're out of the house from about 11 o'clock in the morning. Morning, Graham. We're about 11 a.m. We're out of the house until about 7 p.m. So I was able to watch the first half, and then there's a lovely gentleman that I'm going to name drop because he gave me his DAZN password and everything, and I just watch everything.
So you don't watch your kids, you watch the game?
What do I need to watch the kids for? They know how to play. They're 11 and 15 now. Come on. It's like the parents that complain that, you didn't feed your kids. I fed them yesterday.
I mean, if you're coaching them, you should be paying attention, right?
So we watched, I was able to watch, so when we got there on the drive, we watched it. So I was able to watch till about the 70th minute.
Oh, nice.
And then the little one's game was on, so obviously I had to coach him and watch him. But the big one was watching the game on DAZN, thanks to Mr. Daigle. And so he comes all of a sudden. Now, my big one, there's a reason his pace is 63 because, he moves a bit like a slow dinosaur, but God bless him. He's A for effort. He's my Tony Adams, right? Even though we shouldn't talk about the players from that team, but that's what he is. But all of a sudden, I see this big 6-foot giant doing his horrible run across the pitch to me. Dad, look. He's all pissed off looking. He shows me the penalty that they scored. Fuck. All right. Then he goes back to his friends because a couple of the boys from his team are already there and they're sitting together watching the game together. Then all of a sudden I see all four of them jump up and just come running in the middle of on the field right beside us. There's another game going on. These four are senior volunteers in the league as well. You think they know better. They go running right through the field, right across the pitch to me, jumping up and down in my arms. They run onto the little one's pitch as well. And everybody's just looking at them like, what are you doing? And then they showed me that Harry Kane beauty to seal it off. And I just, okay, get off the field now. We got this game to finish off. We'll watch that in a minute. But it was just, what a great feeling. What a way to start off my weekend. Boys, I kept dropping my predictions. I told you they're going to give me 3 points for my birthday. I'm not going to complain. I do love it when I'm right because I've been married so long that I'm never right. So I will take these beautiful, beautiful moments when I get them, baby. I will enjoy them. I'm going to carry it into today. Even though I got to work later on this afternoon, it's going to be a beautiful, sunshiny day.
Yeah, I mean that's a great story. I love the running across the pitch with the kids.
And he doesn't run, Brian. He doesn't run. It's like a slow moving caravan.
At least you now know what will make him run, so you can utilize that for your parenting skills.
Well, me chasing him with the taser.
I got something to show you. Spurs did something. He comes running over all of a sudden. Gotcha.
Notice, I like the shirt you got on, Ireland.
Yeah. It's the last one I bought. I figured I'd represent a little bit today.
When was that? That was our first season. Well, yeah, it's got the crest on. When we were at Wembley.
Yep. It's a good one.
When we were at Wembley. But Bobby, who was your? Well, I know your man of the match is going to be everyone's man of the match the same, but
no, it's not.
Give us your analysis on Kane, and then who would you have had as second man of the match?
My first man of the match is Sonny. You racist! How dare you? Unacceptable.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? We've been friends so long, and I never knew this dark side of you.
You're Asian as well. Considered Asian as well.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm the Brasian, the brown Asians, right?
The Brasian, yeah,
so
exactly.
I never knew, and then to think that, I tell my kids to call this guy Uncle F Man, and now he's just put such a shame, a black cloud over my entire family. It's just, it's just been so brutal. It really has. But you know what? We will recover. I thought it was bad enough with the whole Gaza thing from yesterday, Ireland.
Oh,
then on top of that,
in a contest. In a contest.
It's amazing you hit 4K subscribers. How are you going to get to 5K with this guy dragging you down doing these silly things, man?
If it keeps getting talked about in the comments, we're going to lose. We're going to go under 4K in no time.
Terrible, bad media. But you know what? Whoever wrote that is a fool. Son was absolutely awesome. We all know Kane was a 15 out of 10. He was just rock star of the game. But I really, really liked everybody's contribution. It makes such a difference when we have players playing beside each other that, when you look to your left and your right, you can trust the guy beside you. What a difference it makes when how good was Romero back there knowing that he's got Dyer sitting in there in the middle to cover his ass. How much better is Ben Davies knowing he's got Dyer shouting out to him and covering his ass basically. And
Bobby, I think the key one there is how much better Royale was. Knowing he had 100%. Romero next to him. Either one of our right wing backs with Romero next to them is a million times better because he will cover for most of their stupidity.
Yeah,
when
you've
got Sanchez in there, he doesn't cover for anybody. He doesn't
cover
understand.
For his own stupidity.
Well, that's it. And then you've got two calamities next to each other.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's spot on. You're right, Ireland, and that's a big thing. If we could teach this kid how to cross the ball, I think we might end up having a right wing back in the fold. But everybody jumped on this kid really early. You got to remember, it's only been a couple of months he's been in the league. He's 21 or 22. How old is he? 21, right?
Yeah,
21. Yeah, so
21.
He's a kid.
He's a
Jesus,
child.
my kid's 15 years old. He's a kid.
My son is 24.
Exactly. There you go. Your son's over them. And to think the footballing brain that they have to have, and on top of that, to be able to deal with the pressures of everything that comes with the game, the media shit, like British media is just absolutely horrible. And to deal with all that crap, like this kid's probably reading his own stuff on these social media websites and everything, saying, "Oh my God, hey, thanks, Luca." Oh my God, 1 week they're praising me, they love me. Oh yes, I'm the greatest. And the next week, oh, you're shit. Why did we buy you? You're not worth 30p, more or less 30 million. And it's like, we got to remember this shit messes with these kids. That even us, we're talking about what somebody wrote in the comments regarding your guys' feed and calling Brian a racist because of a rating he gave a player. How absolutely maddening is that?
Social media, buddy.
It's social media, but we let these things get to us. It's human nature. They will get to us. We will react regardless of how much we want to not. We will react. Please tell me you got rid of that trainer. No, he's moved the chair over so it covers it.
Can't see it right now. Can't
see it now.
But yeah, you know what? I think the kid did really well. Defensively, he's way above Doherty. We know that. Defensive wise, I don't know why we bought Matt Doherty. I really don't. Like I had hopes for him, but he's shown absolutely nothing. So Royale, I personally, again, we touched on this before. I would have preferred they went in and spent the money on Max Aarons and got an English boy in that's proven in the league as well. But we got Royale, and this is the guy we got to get behind. We got to support this guy. So we've got to make sure that we're giving these guys the encouragement they need to go ahead and do well on the pitch, physically and mentally. So
yeah, for sure. We talked a lot about Conte. I'd love to get your thoughts on Conte's performances. Tactically speaking, what he decided to do to manage City and what they typically bring in are difficult to play against. What did you think of his performance?
It seems like he's got Pep's number. No matter what he does. I think you guys, when you were talking yesterday, Brian, you had Ave Master on, and he was talking about that, how Conte I believe he was the last one to do the double over Pep when he was with Chelsea as well. So, he's clearly got something. He knows he's figured him out completely with his tactic. It's like, Conte.
I've just seen the last comment coming in, which is blatantly Cuba. But that is brilliant. Yeah. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. This one.
Sorry.
That is blatantly Cuba. And I have to say,
Cuba is wicked.
Cheers, Cuba. Appreciate that. So good. Keep these coming, by the way, because they're fucking hilarious.
I have to say,
well, Brian, you're on your
you did, man. How much?
Okay, do me a favor. Okay.
Oh, was that the other guy that actually knows who Gaza is?
No. Do me a favor. Right, wait. Can someone, Eugene? I know you're in the background, Eugene, but you're gonna have to wait a second because Brian and Danny, if you saw what I put in our WhatsApp group,
I
was trying to get the invite link because someone is coming on.
Yeah. I can send you the invite. Like, just ask me for it. What do you want? You want me to send it to you?
Just send WhatsApp that person the invite, because I was trying to get in to send the invite. I can't do it on my phone.
Okay, it was here. The link's here in your comments.
No, but there's someone very, very special coming on, and I mean special.
I sent it.
Because we don't mean anything, right? Thanks,
Brian. No. You'll realize
just,
when this
right. Stop. Just it's sent. Okay. So keep going on that conversation there, Bobby.
Yeah, you know what? He's got. It's clear that he's got his number. He's got something that he knows. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
What's up, Ads? Good to see you in the comments, buddy. Hope you're well.
Glad to see he's got power again.
Yeah, exactly right.
Though he's obviously got his number. It seems like Conte could go in there and beat Man City with AFC Wimbledon or something. He's just got something over this guy that he clearly doesn't have over Southampton or Wolverhampton. But there you go. It was just a great performance. But as much as we want to give Conte the credit too, we've got to give him the credit for getting these guys up to speed and realizing what combinations are working. That's the true masterclass.
I think the full week too. He had the full week, Bobby, of being able to focus on it and having that week without any other distractions to really just determine what the tactics will be. You could see there was a result in that. I think that bodes well for the rest of the season, that we don't have a ton of games. Most of the time we'll play once a week, and that once a week will hopefully bring to fruition these types of results where the focus will be there, tactically know exactly what to do. That the Wolves game and that Southampton game probably came too close together, and there was not a lot of time in between to adjust or to fix the issues that we had in the previous game. So I think I'm hoping that we'll see more of that consistency throughout the rest of the season. Sorry to interrupt. I just want to add that.
No worries. It's a valid point. But, I said it to Brian. I simplified it way more than you guys. You guys are great with this analysis and the tactical breakdown and everything. I just said, let's just play teams that end with City and not teams that end with Hampton.
That's simplify it. Why not, right? That makes sense completely.
Keep it simple, right? It was just a great display of football and everything, and everybody did their job. I think what we're seeing is that Conte is realizing what pairings and what areas work. This isn't a game about just looking at, okay, we've got two center backs, these two work together. No, you've got to look at who's on the other side as well, and then who's on the other side of that. Yeah. And like you guys touched on, having Royale, knowing that he's got Romero behind him and then Dyer to cover him. You've got two people now are going to cover your ass. And
they also specifically Dyer speaks. He's very vocal, and that vocal when he wasn't there, it's clear that we were missing that.
Communication's a big thing, and that's one thing I dislike about Kane. As much as Kane is the perfect,
he's also a striker. He's not in a position to
talking
do it.
Though. Getting the guys motivated. But even Lloris, you're the general from the back line. You see everything,
but he can't. Or as a keeper,
field.
As a keeper under the cosh, he can't deal with what's going on.
No, I mean when Dyer's not there,
focused.
Though. Somebody has to speak when Dyer's not there. Even Hoiberg or something like. I agree. Hoiberg,
I'm just saying it can't be.
Nobody else does it for some reason.
Yeah, I'm just saying it can't be your golie because it's going to be pretty brutal to have to be your goalie in that scenario because he's got to be focused on But
it's got to be anybody.
Anybody else? I agree 100%.
So somebody's got to start speaking. That's even when I'm with my kids and everything, and I'm teaching these kids that I coach and everything. It's like, guys, communication. Yeah. Let each other know. We have weaker players. It's only a house league, so we have weaker players. We have stronger players. The weaker ones, guys, communicate. Let the stronger guy know you need his help. Talk to each other and stuff like that, and work with each other. You work as a unit, you do much better. Like we touched on with why are these teams that were traditionally behind us in the pecking order and not even a thought that, okay, we're going to go in there, get 3 points, easy swat away. Let's move on to the real games. Those teams now have all caught up in the class area. They've gotten better. They've improved. Through purchases of players. They've improved through just gelling and working together as well. A lot of these teams now we're seeing have been put together and they're working in their second, third, fourth year and they're gelling. And when a team gels and they can trust the man around them and they know who's going to do what in what area, it makes a massive, massive difference. And I really saw that in this game. I'm hoping it carries on. I'm hoping we don't do what we typically do on Wednesday. I'm hoping Conte has washed away the Spursy mentality kind of thing and teaches these boys what it is to kind of keep form and keep positive mentality and use that tidal wave in a positivity towards yourselves, to better yourselves, to better your progress on the field and what we're getting. And we
hopefully some
products,
consistency,
so.
right?
Yeah,
Bobby, I think that's it's a bit our biggest issue this season is we
100%.
have 2 or 3 good results and then we fall off the wagon a little bit. Another good result. Let's not take this result and think that now whenever we come up against a team that isn't Man City, we should roll over them and not be up for it. We need to be up for it the same way we were up for this game. Any team, doesn't matter who you're playing, you need to be up for it at that level so that we're making them, whoever it is. This goes to Burnley in particular, who we're playing on Wednesday. You have to be up for this game on Wednesday.
They just won 3-0, so we have to, and we're going to their house, so you know they've got to be able to go in there and give these boys a fight, because they're going to be doing it. But I see Brian's going crazy back there.
So Bobby, we're gonna put you into the back end real quick here, and Brian's going to introduce our next special guest. But stay with us, Bobby, because we'll probably have you back on. But we're just going to pop you up for a moment, okay?
All right, no worries.
Cheers. Bri, go ahead. You're muted, by the way, I think.
So there's a very, very special guest coming on right now, and people probably saw I got very, very excited. I can't believe I'm actually having the honor of doing this and saying this. His camera will be off, and I am honored, thrilled, and just privileged to say, return of the Bob. There it is, return of the Bob. How are you, brother?
Piss off.
He said it.
Get in there, Bobby. Get in.
You can't take one Bobby off and put another Bobby on.
There's only one Bobby. Sorry, Bobby K.
Brother, how you doing?
Yeah, good man, good man. Small steps, small steps.
It's good to hear your voice, mate.
Yeah, it's amazing to hear your voice. I know I heard Bobby's voice a couple of weeks ago when I was with Brian, and I couldn't believe it when I first heard it. When he called Brian out the blue, and then you could hear him speak, but he was whispering because it was hard. But it's amazing to hear how it is right now, Bobby, man. It's so good to hear that voice.
Get in there, bro. Get in there. It's like I say, small steps. Still in recovery. Still in ICU. Yeah, just get in there. Get in there slowly.
Absolutely brilliant, brother. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, man. Congrats, man. 4K.
Thanks, buddy. So proud to play your work every time we start our streams and end our streams as well. Looking forward to you getting back to that too. So, oh man, absolutely amazing.
I got to upgrade that, man. I got to upgrade.
Yeah, we'll get there, buddy. We'll get there one step at a time, mate.
Well, all I can say to you, mate, the comments are going absolutely ballistic. All for you, brother. All for you. So obviously, talk to us about. Obviously, you were always positive. You and Iggy were the ones that were talking about Manchester City and we're going to win, and you never ever.
Oh yeah.
Ever. So talk to us about Man City.
Oh, I mean, you can't talk about the game without talking about Kane's performance. That's got to be one of the best individual performances by a player, any player in Premier League history. I can't think of anyone. And when you think we're playing the best team in Europe at the moment, what Kane did to that team was unbelievable. So, no, thoroughly deserved. I knew we'd win. We're a bogey team, aren't we? We're the bogey team.
Yeah, always have been, Bob.
Yeah.
I think we've beaten them more than anyone else away from home at their own ground in English football.
Yeah,
doing the double as well in one season is pretty fantastic.
And I do think there's that mental effect we've got over Man City. I do think there's a mental block they've got when they play us. Thoroughly deserved. We didn't snatch a win. We didn't get a fluky 3-2 win. We thoroughly deserved it. We've had more shots on goal, on target than them. And every time we attacked, we were dangerous. We were dangerous. So, yeah, unbelievable.
Well, honestly, like I said, these comments, I can't even keep up with them, brother. You know the love, and we've all been telling you the love. I I still have to say, and I mean, I heard it yesterday, and Danny, like he said, we heard your voice briefly a few weeks ago, but just hearing you speak like this and talk and your comments, it's just honestly, it's unbelievable to hear, man. It's the most amazing thing that has happened in a long.
Well, I was asleep for 5 weeks. I was under 5 weeks, so I missed out on quite a bit. And then when I came round, obviously, you need to come round properly. But I've not caught up with all the well wishes and all the love that's been sent my way. So it's been unbelievable, man. I've been overwhelmed. It's been unbelievable. Just you think I'm just a YouTuber who sits on the sofa, talk about Spurs and tell everyone to piss off. The love I've got, man, unbelievable.
But you know what, Bob? One of the things that have been said whilst you've been under is they have wanted to hear 2 words more than anything ever. And you've come and said, even Jason Groves, thank you for the super chat, Jay. Good to have you back, Bob. It really is. Honestly, everyone has been waiting to hear piss off. You have no idea how many people have been waiting to hear that.
Unbelievable. Honestly, I'm overwhelmed. It's been, I never expected it. Never expected it.
It's
brilliant.
Yeah, you've missed quite a bit with Tottenham, but at least you're coming around just as it looks like things are going good.
Yeah, that's it. I missed out all the shit.
No, we've got more COVID coming in. You're not COVID anymore.
And Bob, are you moving to a different ward today? Are you still staying on that ward?
Yeah, no, I've moved to a non-COVID ward today. So
yes, get in there.
So none of
good
spacesuit when you come tomorrow.
Oh, I can give you a hug, oh, mate.
The good news keeps coming. It just keeps coming.
Honestly, Man City, us hitting 4K, nothing. This is just, mate,
I mean,
what a way.
Bob coming back. Daigle not knowing anything about Gascoigne. I mean, I mean,
Ireland performs better in a quiz than Daigle.
Bob.
Who would have thought that was coming?
I told Bob about this yesterday, and I think my head is shame. I don't know how I'm going to dig myself out of this one, Bob.
Embarrassed.
Ashamed.
Thanks, brother. Thanks, brother. The one person I thought I'd have my corner, but you know what, Bob? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
thank you. You know what? Getting a put down from me is like a compliment, so I'm going to take it. I am going to take it.
No, it's all good. But I'm going to say, beating Man City, if we lose or draw against Burnley, the Man City game means fuck all.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree. I think Bob is right. If it will literally mean fuck all if we go and lose to Burnley.
Oh, it'd be
I just want to say a big shout out to Cody. It was Cody and Brian who I think convinced Kim to not listen to me and go ahead and call the ambulance when I was poorly. So Cody, he's I think I sent him a voice note, or I spoke to him on a voice chat, and he was like, "No, I'm not having this. This sounds pretty bad." Because I was being a proper bloke, I was like, "I'll be alright. I'll sleep it off." If anyone out there has got any symptoms, anything, just don't be a bloke. Just get it checked out, because I had to go to hell and back because I was trying to be toughed up. So Cody, man, he's part of part and parcel of people who saved my life. Yeah, big up. Piss off, Cody.
Yeah, Cody,
No,
piss
the
off.
party political broadcast for the Bob Spur party. My God. Yeah, listen, Bob. I don't know if you can see the comments if you're on your laptop or your phone, but if you can't see the comments, go back and watch this because it's going berserk. It's going berserk. So yeah, but going back to what you were saying, I think a lot of us have been saying the same when it comes to Burnley and Leeds. This victory will be in vain if null and void if we don't pick up maximum points. Don't you think?
100%. We need to. Our gameplay is going to be different. We're not going to be. We're not going to have the counter-attacking play that we've had at Man City. So our gameplay is going to be totally different. The determination needs to be the same.
Yeah, well said.
The mindset needs to be the same. But we need to go there and basically take our chances. So yeah, like I say, losing or drawing against Burnley, Man City's game. I don't know about you guys, but I can't watch the Ajax game because.
Sorry again, Bob.
I can't watch the Ajax game.
Yeah.
The Mora game. Mora. Because in the end it meant nothing. We lost the final, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same with Burnley. If we lose or draw against Burnley, the Man City game is going to mean fuck all.
Yeah, we got to build on it, right?
Exactly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's 100% true. I was saying that just before you hopped on. Consistency is going to be key. You know, we lost the 3 games prior to this game. You can't forget that was the case. It doesn't mean we're necessarily in the clear because we beat the best team in the world at the moment. We have to follow it up with results against teams that aren't going to be remotely close to tactically the same situation. We have to adjust, and we have to, like you said, Bobby, bring the passion, play with heart, play with the same amount of guts, and we can beat anybody. But it has to be there week in, week out.
Leeds too. It goes for Leeds as well.
Yeah,
we need to win the next 2 games.
100%. Yep.
But Bobby, what I was going to say to you as well, can we just block that person?
Yeah. Block.
But also, Bobby, you know how important the FA Cup is to you and me. You and me talk about the 91 FA Cup all the goddamn time. It's one of the things you and me first connected on, and our love of a certain person whose name I can't say at the moment for risk of ridicule. Yeah, Brian, I just got who I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'm not going to the pool final. How good would it be to win the FA Cup right now, especially with? I mean, I think we're going to do it just for Bob Spur now. I think this FA Cup, the name is on the trophy. Well, no, do you know what? With him saying 4-1, Bob, I think I've told you this. Since you were under, I always remember you said 4-1. 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. And every single prediction, pretty much all of the YouTube community were giving their prediction, but 4-1 for you. I was trying to organise a clap for Bob whilst you were under, but couldn't think of a number. Then Ben from We Are Tottenham TV thought of 4-1, 41st minute. So I was saying 4-1. Then you woke up from your first time in the coma and said 3-1. I was like, for God's sake. So I changed it to 3-1. And then I changed it to 3-1 for Man City. And then you came up straight after and said 2-1. So yeah, so your predictions.
Turns out Bob isn't as predictable as you thought.
I did say Kane on the double though.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I mean, I think the name's on the FA Cup for Tottenham because of you, Bob. How important and how remarkable would it be for us to win the FA Cup after everything you've just gone through?
Borough away, man. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a tough game.
It will be a difficult game.
It's going to be a tough game, and we've seen so many, giant killings and upsets throughout the years. So it's one game at a time. We've got to concentrate on Borough first. It depends on what kind of team he puts out. Well, we're not in Europe anymore.
Should be able to play a strong team, right? Because of that.
So we should be able to play a strong team. But quarterfinals next, isn't it?
After Bayern, if we could just stay away from Chelsea and get Man City in the final, then it's ours, Bob.
Yeah, we win no matter what there.
I was about to say something stupid. I was about to say if we get to the final, I'll fly home and we'll watch it together. But I think my marriage might be at stake.
I don't think you're going to get away with that.
Yeah,
bro.
I think I'm not going to commit to that.
What's your thoughts on top four? I got ridiculed by quite a few people when I tweeted out the other day. We should be going for top four with our team, with the best defender one of the best defenders in Europe at the moment in Romero, the best striker in the world in Kane, the best left-sided midfielder in Sonny. Two good signings with teams around us being so inconsistent. We should be aiming for top four. I'll be disappointed if we didn't finish top four. What you guys think?
I said it earlier. I think we should be aiming for it. Certainly, I don't know that we'll get there. I think the inconsistency that we're talking about with the other teams, Spurs share as well. We've been incredibly inconsistent. If we can stay consistent and put a run together, then definitely. I think that's the key.
Daniel, Brian, can you just also find the link to Spurs channel?
I'll get it. I'll get it.
Let's get it.
What do you think, Dan? So what's your? I know because you've always been a bit. I'm a haven't you?
Yeah, like do you know? I feel that that's what we should aim for. I'm just not confident in us getting it because I think that in order for us to get top four, even with those players, right, we have to have a fit squad who are playing like they did against Man City for the rest of the season, because Man United at the moment, they've started to pick up form in terms of they're not losing games, even though they might be drawing, but they're getting a point here and there, and they're not losing, and they have got a bigger squad than us, and it all depends on who gets lucky with injuries and stuff. If I'm honest, I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think if Arsenal or Man United right now, right, we've all got good kind of goodish first 11s, right? Man United probably got arguably the best one. They're just not playing as a team properly. I just think that if any one of them starts like losing a couple games, the other teams have to capitalize. And if their best 11s don't capitalize, whoever that is, I think it's the one who's going to capitalize the most. And I just, knowing the history of Tottenham, right, and how we never capitalize when we've got the biggest chances. I mean, the Southampton and Wolves games are just glimpses of that again, that we had the biggest chance. We could have been sitting really comfortably in fourth right now if we won those games. But it's one of those things in hindsight, isn't it? And
the Spurs thing.
It is. And do you know what, Bob? Like, I think we can do it, but it's a big if. And if we do it, I think Conte deserves a fucking knighthood apart from, like you said it, Bob, you said Hugo Lloris. We know he's made a couple mistakes in the last few games, but Hugo Lloris, Romero, I would say Dyer right now, Harry Kane, Son, and you probably say Bentancur, right? If them players are fit, right, for the rest of the season, we've got a great chance. I think they're going to be the biggest keys to us having any kind of success this season, the rest of the season.
100%. I just think the other teams are inconsistent. I mean, even Man United yesterday, they went from 2-0 to 2-2. They didn't look convincing. I don't know, man. It's in our hands.
It is in our hands in a sense, because we still got to play Arsenal and we still got to play Man United.
Exactly.
Yep. Those are big games.
If we beat Arsenal at home and we get a point at United and we win our games in hands that we always keep saying, then we will be above them all. So we can still do it. And I think Arsenal will drop more points than us. I actually think Arsenal will drop more points than us. But Man United is my biggest worry.
It's all about what we take away from the Man City game. If we can relay that, intensity, mindset, that determination to the rest of the games.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think we just have to channel that for the rest of the games, like you said, Bob. And I just think that if anyone, we have to, Man United have to slip up because I think they're the team to beat. I don't think Arsenal are. I think it's United.
Yeah, they're on a roll too. They have put a run together in their last 7. I think they've won 5 of their last 7 and drawn 2 of them. So they haven't lost in a while. So
it's Man United. They're a huge club. People got to remember that they might not be the best team right now, but they are a huge club and they've got a history of getting results when it matters, and we don't. And that's the thing. And we have to try and capitalize on it. And I'm just not sure if we're going to do it. But like I said, I've got all the confidence in the world if our players stay fit for the rest of the season. There's no injuries to Harry Kane, no injuries to Romero again. No, because if Dyer gets out of that team, we're fucked again.
Yeah,
Dyer
that's a big one.
Crucial. He's crucial. If Romero gets injured, we're fucked. I actually think Dyer's probably more important than Romero right now, because you could say Sanchez might be able to play a bit better with Dyer there because he's got Dyer's a leader and he tells him what to do. And I think he frees up.
He frees up Romero when he's there.
Yeah, he does, but it's like Dyer just controls that back line and the confidence. It breathes so much more confidence in a team when Dyer is there. So I just think that he's probably more important right now to us. So we can't lose Dyer again. And it's like Son. If we lose Son, are we going to trust Bergwijn or Mora to do a job? We don't know. They're inconsistent. We have to wait and see.
For sure.
There we go.
Yeah, I have to roll, lads. I've maxed
Me
out
and Daniel take over.
Yeah, maxed out my time here. I got a dog to manage before he heads home. But Bobby, wonderful to hear your voice. Can't wait to get on a stream with you again. But just keep rocking it, man. Keep working hard to get out of this. You're a legend. You're a legend, man. An inspiration. Really.
No, I'm nothing. I'm nothing without the well wishes and love that's come my way.
Cheers, Bobby.
Before you go, Brian, you're going to go in a very, very true manner. Bob, tell Brian Ireland what he should do.
Yeah, piss off.
Gladly, brother, gladly.
Ladies Ireland. So, Bob, what else would you like to talk about, or shall we get some questions coming in for you, brother? From the, because I'm sure there's quite a few people. I mean, I don't know how you're pushed for time.
It's your show, man. It's your show. You go for,
mate. This has become the Bob appreciation.
No.
Anyone got any questions? Anyone got any questions for Bobby? Just do at Bob Spur or whatever. Obviously, try to keep it football.
Or even do a super chat so we can get it up and we can actually discuss the comment for Bob.
Yeah, that would be best, because, like I said, and Bob, I told him this in the hospital, and I'm going to say it to him live on air again, whether he likes it or not. When you come out, we will be doing a show with Bob, and like we're doing for the mental health, all the super chats are going to Bob and Kim and Tammy, because obviously they've been through a lot, and Bob's been out of action for obvious reasons. So everyone knows how dearly this man is loved by everyone, not just me, not just everyone at Tottenham On Tour, just everyone in this community. So yeah, if you have any questions for Bob, just put at Bob Spur or put it in the super chat. And actually, Bob, I've got Kim coming to meet me in about 8 minutes. As she said, we'll stay here for a bit longer to take me back, because I'm obviously coming to see you tomorrow. So any questions? God, I'm rambling. I'm so excited to see him here. Any questions for Bob?
Brian, do you want to? I'm gonna have to shoot as well, because I need to get on, do a bit more work. Do you want to bring in Eugene and Barry maybe?
Yeah, let's bring in Eugene and Barry to keep me company.
Bob's still there.
But Bobby, I think, has gone. Bobby K, I can see he's in the chat. Bobby, if you're available, come back on the link, and we'll have a little party. But obviously, as I say, whilst we've got people like big people, obviously, Bob is the centre of attention. I'm going crazy here.
Right. Before you say anything more, I've got to watch
a Salk as well. So
I just want to say before I go that Bobby, hearing your voice today, mate, has literally just made my day. You've just made my day. So I'm so glad that you're you're recovering now, and I know it's still a long way to go, but to hear you come on a stream and speak like you've spoken today, it's just phenomenal, mate. And I can't wait to see you again, mate. And yeah, thank you for coming on, Bob. And thank you for everyone. I'll speak to you all later on. Take it easy,
Piss
guys.
off, mate. No, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, you fuck off as well, Bob.
Yeah. Can't wait to see him.
See you later, boys.
Okay, so welcome Eugene, Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil,
Eugene.
Grant, Arthur.
Hey, Bobby.
Eugene, how are you doing, bro?
Doing well. It's actually, I just wanted to come on to say congratulations to Brian, but you being on the show beats everything. It doesn't matter anymore, right? Nothing matters anymore, right? And it's good to hear your voice, bro. It's so good to hear your voice. I'm gonna cry. Oh dear. Right. You put up a good fight. My question to you, remember, I keep asking you this. What dreams did you have?
Oh, mate. You don't want to know. I woke up convinced that I was involved in some terrorist shootout with the what was it, the UK Prime Minister, some other things as well that I can't talk about really. Horrible things, man. Horrible things. It's and it's so vivid as well. You wake up convinced that it's true. Hallucinations.
I know. No dreams about leaving, getting sacked or anything like that.
No, man. Horrible
Okay.
things. I'll tell you.
No, but it's good, right, that you're back now, right? It's so good that you're back.
Small steps.
Right.
Small steps. How's work?
Work is tiring, right? Really tiring, right? But at least got work, right? That's the most important thing, right? The most important thing about work, right? And for you is that you have to concentrate on your recovery, right?
That's it.
And your physio and your rehabilitation. That's the most important thing for you now, right, bro? That's the most important thing. Nothing else matters, right? Once you come back out, we will be there to party. All right, we'll be there to party. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. We'll be there to party. Yeah.
Most definitely, Nick, Barry, Sean, Phil, Grant. What you got to say?
Well, obviously, Bobby won't know who Nick, Barry, Sean, Grant, Phil, Arthur, everyone else is. I've kind of been an enigma since you've been away, Bobby. Obviously, I've like you say about the kind words from the community. I'm literally kind of sat here with goosebumps, really. Being able to, obviously met Brian. Kim came over with Rez to watch the Man City game at the weekend. So like you say, the community is fantastic, and everyone to finally talk to you, I guess, is an absolute honor. And having to meet, this has probably been 3-4 months of my life, and Brian's, it's just been fantastic meeting everyone and hearing about you, supporting you, and there's a lot of love for you, brother. So yeah, it'd be whatever needs to be done, we're all here. And like Eugene was going to say, congratulations, Brian and Adam and Danny and other Brian, but piss off, no one cares about that, right?
Mate, it pales into significance, and a very good friend of the channel and another YouTuber, Mari, thank you, brother.
Big
for
up.
just putting, saying back to the days of hearing your voice, Bobby. We are truly blessed. Big up, Bob. Bobby, big up the panel. I mean, like I said, Bob, the thought of hearing your voice like this was what a lot of people have been waiting to hear, and the fact that they're hearing this and so clearly and everything is just, it's the greatest thing that's happened this year. Probably will happen this year. Honestly, it's incredible.
I'm just gonna have to pop away for about 5 minutes. All right, guys.
All right, you do what you got to do, brother. We'll be still here. We're still here. Come back when you're ready, brother. Right. Well, how good is that? Honestly,
beats everything, Brian. Right, beats everything. Right. I was like saying, when you started Tottenham On Tour, I was more or less on your third or fourth show. That was like, oh man, and you've reached 4K now, and Bobby's on, so forget about that. Right. So it's good. It's good to see Bobby back.
It's
so good.
You know, it's kind of like what Brian Allen said. Bob has done most of the videos, or a huge chunk of the videos for intros and everything. So every time that we do this, he's part of the show, because obviously he's got to update it when he's fit and ready, because we've got to get the bun and Adam Clarke put on that graphic as well, but only when he's bloody good and ready. But yeah, it's always having him with us, and for him to be able to come on when we hit 4,000, forget the 4,000.
Yeah,
that is worth more than that. It's worth more than anything. But just having him there is just incredible. So whilst he's gone, I'm sure he's going to jump back on shortly. He's had to go and do his bits. What were you going to talk about before the great man, Superman, came on?
No, I was like, trying to repeat what Bobby says, right? Being a Spurs fan, we are shit against the small teams and all that. We lose, and then we go on this kind of trip. And in the end of the day, we beat M City. Everybody's elated. Hi, Bobby K.
Good morning, guys. How are you, Gene, Nick, Barry, Sean, Ricky?
When do you get Ricky?
I don't know. That was something Brian started screaming at the end of one of them. I still don't know his real name, even though I've got him on Facebook as a friend now, and I still don't know what alias he's going under. But here I am. I jumped back in. I did my little costume change because I was about to start making lunch for the kids, and then, I had the opportunity to come and speak to the legend himself, Bob Spur. And as soon as I finally get logged back in, he jumps off. But I get to see your two smiling faces, so that's a bonus as well. So how you guys doing today?
Doing well.
I don't think today can get any better.
What's that, Brian?
I don't think today can get any better.
No, it's a great start to the day. It's a great hey man, it's family day over here, Brian. You know that it's long weekend over here, right? It's family day over here. So what a way to start off family day. It's all about love and family. We touched on this when Eugene was kind enough to let me crash their channel yesterday for my debut over there. We touched on about what it was and the priority of family and the ups and downs we have. We were talking about the relationship between Son and Kane, and how it had gone a bit frosty there, and how it was rejuvenated over in Manchester the other day. So, obviously when we know that they're having a dry spell in their relationship, we've just got to send them on a little honeymoon weekend over to Manchester, and they'll come back, all lovey-dovey again. So, it's simple solutions, guys.
Let me just welcome down and just let you know, Kim will be here any moment to pick me up. So when Kim gets here, I will just quickly go and get the dog. We'll talk for a little bit, but then we will be cutting it short because I need to get back to Kim's and chill with her tonight. Welcome to the stream, my man.
Thank you. I tell you one thing, I had to come on and just say it was so lovely to hear Bob Spur's voice again. It really is. I mean, that's the best thing I've heard all day, and absolutely lovely to hear his voice. It's just really put a massive smile on my face. And also I wanted to come on and congratulate you, Brian, and Brian Island, Danny and Adam for reaching 4,000. Absolutely congratulations. Well deserved. Absolutely well deserved.
Thank you, brother. I just want, before we start talking Spurs, I just want to echo what
sorry, is that Dermot?
Yeah.
The Dermot? Hey, nice to meet you finally. Okay.
Brian, nice to meet you.
I haven't had the opportunity to cross paths with you yet. I just get to enjoy your content and everything. So a pleasure finally. The legend himself. Look at this. All these fancy people Brian's introducing me to. Lucky me.
Exactly. I'm like Hitch from the Will Smith Hitch. I just don't put people together in that way. I want to go back on what Bob Spur said and say, and it's not just for men. It's for if you just got to look at what he's been through, and one person that will know how quickly that shook me would have been this Bobby here, because I speak to Bobby very, very regularly back home in Canada, and I just got back. We're arranging to meet, and I was like, guess what? Can't meet. I'm going back. And what his family, his friends, his kids have just gone through is something so serious. If you're ever feeling ill, whether it be COVID, whether it be mental health, whether it be a lump sum, whatever it may be, just don't sit and wait and think, oh, I'll see if it go. Please, please, please go to a doctor, a psychiatrist, a hospital, whatever it may be, because you only get one go on this merry-go-round, and
get checked.
Exactly. Whether it be, like I said, just everything. If it's a cold, obviously, at the moment, a cold could be obviously the thing that we hate talking about, but it could be anything, of any illness or any issues, financial or whatever. Deal with it head on, because if you wait and wait and wait, it just snowballs and could be a lot worse. So it's great hearing Bob back. It's great hearing his voice. It's great listening to him and knowing he's recovering, but things could have been a lot worse. So just deal with it head on if you can.
And that's a very valid point, Brian. Now, you know this personal situation with me that I'm going to share with all of you now. And I only share this because it's been 6 years this year now. I lost one of my best friends at the age of 39 to a heart attack. He had just come back from Mexico on a vacation. Whilst he was away, he started smoking cigars again. He'd quit smoking cigarettes. So when he came back, he thought it was just, he was having chest pain, just chalked it off to coming back into the colder climate again. And because he'd smoked some cigars, wrote it off completely nothing. I got a phone call a few hours later that he had passed. It was devastating to me. Now, Brian, you know this. You know, I've got my Spurs tattoo right here. He was a massive Liverpool fan, so you know that's on there for him. You never walk alone, because this is all my children's names and my wife's initials and everything. So I don't walk alone. They're with me all the time in whatever I do, and so is he. But it was because of the stubbornness of us being your prototypical men, that were man's men kind of thing. I'm fine. It's all right. It's just a cut. Or it's all right. It's just a little bit of chest pain. We've got to stop this bullshit and really just, you know, take Bob's advice there and do the right thing and listen to our friends and family members when they say, look, just get checked out. You know, you never know what you're going to find, and hopefully it's something that they can catch early, that can be dealt with, versus it being something that's a lot grander that you won't be able to recover from, and then you know you're it's there's nowhere to go but out. But you know, so sorry, I didn't mean to get all serious on there for a second.
No,
Bob brought that.
No, Bobby, thank you for sharing that, mate. That's, you know, that I know you know we've been chatting. You know, Brian, you know you're relatively new. You're like the newbie compared to me now. I'm not a newbie anymore. So
No, I'm fresh. I got the new car smell too still.
To share that with us is fantastic, mate. And that's what we need to do. I can see Brian, your nemesis from last night is in the chat, Mr.
Yeah, I've seen him there. I mean, obviously it was fair play. Listen, I said, well, hopefully the rematch is coming. It was Joe. It was a great quiz. It was like I said, I can't recommend going over to Spurs related enough. And this is again the great thing. And whilst we're talking like this, then we are going to change the football. There's one more guest that I'm going to bring on, and then I'm closing the lines unless Bob Spur comes in because of my wife. Kim and my mum could be. I don't know how I said my wife. If my wife turned up, then I'll definitely be ending the stream. I'll be a bit freaked out with her just appearing here. So yeah. I don't know what I was about to say. I completely forgot what I was about to say.
You're going to bring on a guest into the stream there. You got another guest in, and then you were going to close it off, and let's just talk football now.
Yeah, let's talk football. We're bringing in Josh, the Tottenham guy.
Hey, Josh.
Morning, Josh. How are you? Nice to meet you.
So
how are you, Josh?
You all right, Josh, buddy?
How you doing,
Josh?
I'm
good, man. I apologise if the microphone's a bit quiet. I'm using the iPad because I don't really have a laptop at the moment, so I'm making do with what I've got. Yeah. All is well over here.
You sound like a robot.
Still, I sound like a robot.
Yeah.
You got the echo and the crack. Yeah.
Listen to Mr. Bobby Kane.
I was going to say, if I sound better than you and I just started doing this, then Josh, there's something to work on, because I'm like 2
Bobby
weeks
Kane's
ago
got a studio. He's got a mic set up. He's got everything. He's like look at him, next level. We're just
this was my only investment right here. Thank God I had Brian Ireland giving me free tech support saying, okay, you sound like shit, do this. Move over here. Move to the left. Move to the right now. Okay, head 2 inches up. Move your camera. It doesn't get better than that. So and I've honestly, Barry, or Nick, or you don't have a name up, so I don't know what alias
Here
you're
he
using
comes.
today. But
Here comes
but
Superstar.
it's been awesome. There, the legend
Hey,
himself
Bobby.
is back in. So now 2 Bobbies make it a right.
Do you know what? No, what I have to say I learned is, you know what? Everyone, you can never have too many Bobs in your life. If you ever get to meet a Bob, cling on to them for dear fucking life, because they are golden. How you doing, Bob?
Yeah, good, mate. Just had the doctor around to give the update.
Pleasure to finally meet you, Bob.
Yeah, you too.
I should be calling you Big Bob, I suppose. Out of respect.
No, we're gonna have to think about that. We're gonna have to think about how
we'll
we
stick
do
with Bob and Bobby. No, just keep it simple, or
That's
Big
it.
Bob and Little Bob, or you've already taken B1 and B2 with with the Ireland and you Ireland, so we can't be B1, B2. So
this is true. This is true, sir. But we'll talk football again. Bob, what do you know what, you missed out so much. What do you want to talk about? And we'll go from there.
Or what you guys think is going to happen against Burnley?
Against Burnley. Okay, let me just bring Josh in. Because Josh is here as well. Okay, we'll go around.
Much better,
much
Josh.
better.
It's like you're sitting beside us now.
That's
Big up, Josh.
Bob, how you doing, brother? Nice to
Yeah,
see
good,
you again, man.
Good, man. Good. Thanks for all your messages,
mate. It's got you through it. It's got you through it. And for a dark period, you finally come out the other side, my friend, and we're all still here. It's like, and it's not gonna stop anytime soon, man. We're all here.
correct. So we'll go round table with Bob's question. We'll start with Barry and go round the table, and I'll go last. So over to you, Barry. Bob's thoughts on what's going to happen with Burnley.
What's going to happen? 3 points, and we're going to get a win. I don't care whether it's 1-0, whether it's 4-1, whether it's 8-0. Just 3 points, please, Tottenham. That's all that we want. Simple as that.
That is as blatant as they get. What about you, Eugene?
For the Burnley game, right? We're away. I guess our form is much better away nowadays, right? So, like what I would say, like Nick says, right? Barry, Nick, Barry.
Everybody's confused, and they know you.
and at least we don't call him insert name here.
Yeah. Fill in the blank.
Right, like what Bobby says, right? After the M-City game, if we don't turn up against Burnley, what are we? I really don't understand anymore. What are we? Right? So we have to win this game to at least give us a glimmer or a slim little chance of having that top 4 position that we're looking for, right? At least smash Burnley. Come on. A Harry Kane hat-trick and get it over with.
Well, he has got a hat-trick there before. He did it before Christmas when he scored back-to-back hat-tricks. So let's hope he runs it with back-to-back performances, and then it's easily 3 points. But Bobby K.
I'm gonna just echo what Barry Nick was saying here. Just get the 3 points. I don't care if it's 25-0. I don't care if it's 1-0. Let's just get in there and get the 3 points. Let's shake off this Spursy title that we have. I got in trouble yesterday for using that word on Eugene's and Jamie's channel there. So we're not allowed to use that word, apparently, I was told. So we're gonna shake off the S word now and just get in there and get a result. That's all I care. Let's start building on the momentum that we create. They create this momentum and then they do absolutely nothing with it. It's so stupid. You build up this force going forward and then we ourselves put up this brick wall to stop it. It makes absolutely no sense. So we need to get, if it's a mental thing, if it's a physical thing, whatever it is, I think Conte is going to be the man that's going to freshen that all up and shake that out of us and go in there and get a result. So, but to follow up again, a big win against Man City with nothing, like what we followed up the Leicester win with nothing afterwards, is just shambolic, and it deflates us immediately as fans. And I'm sure if we are so detrimentally affected by it, I'm sure it does that to the psyche of the players too. because right after that Leicester high, what happened afterwards, the trickle down afterwards, we were just all of a sudden we're bashing Levy again, we're bashing the players, we're not happy with the club, we're not happy with the recruitment policy, all this Conte thing comes out, the Y word thing comes out, blah, all this negative press and blah 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 nonsense comes out. I just want to avoid that dip in the roller coaster right now. I want to ride the high wave. I want to just keep it going and hope we can keep some consistent form and good consistent form.
Bobby K, bashing Levy still has to continue.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eugene. You're right. I'm sorry. I forgot. Daigle being one of my dearest friends, the words came out, but it was one of those. I don't have the brain to mouth filter. It stopped working, and unfortunately, as each passing birthday comes, it's eroding even further. So yesterday, I think I lost a bit more of that filter. So Brian, my apologies. Please find it in your heart to forgive me, and I won't bring up the whole Gaza thing again. We'll wash it.
Yeah? That's a deal I can't refuse. That's a deal I cannot refuse. Dermot, over to you, mate. Burnley,
firstly, Bob, it's lovely to hear your voice, man. It's been so long, and it's great to see you make great recovery. And you just made put the biggest smile on my face here, and you, man. Cheers, it really is so great to hear you.
Cheers, man.
Burnley will win 4-1. I'm going to do a Bob Spurs scoreline. We're going to win 4-1. Harry Kane with 3 and Son with 1. And we're on the march now.
4-1?
No, we're going to win 4-1. Tottenham.
I thought the same, Bobby. I thought
Burnley's going to win 4-1 and then give Kane 3 goals. Oh, wait a minute.
I thought
he's so excited to see Bob.
Yeah.
Everybody's just so excited to see Bob. That's it.
4-1 win for us, and we're on the march for top 4, and we're going to win the FA Cup this year. I'm convinced we're going to win the FA Cup this year.
There's a
bold. You've got to make sure Bob is still going with the 4-1. We'll come to Bob's prediction because he's been 4-1, 3-1, 2-1. So, Josh, over to you. What's your thoughts on Burnley?
I reckon we're going to win 2-0. We're going to get a Kulu brace.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, that's a.
Nice but that's just because I'm gobbling up all this like Kulusevski energy, man. I love him.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I as everyone knows, I was there on Saturday and I got to see just how instrumental he was, just how impressive he could be. I think him and Bentancur always are going to start every game now. It's just and obviously the obvious first teamers being Son, Kane, Lloris, Romero, Dyer. The rest, I think, is all up for debate. And if they can show that determination that they showed on Saturday, then I too, I am going to go Harry Kane hat-trick. I am going to go Harry Kane hat-trick because he has done it against Burnley. I mean, there isn't a team really. I don't think he hasn't done it against or turned up. So that's all good. And also, I just want to say, Bob Bosma, this is for you. Do you remember that guy I was telling you about, Wayne, the Leicester fan?
Yeah.
He is right here saying, "Hi, matey. Hello, mate. Great to see you. Great to see you. And here's the healthy. You've become a very good friend."
Big up, Wayne.
So him hearing that is gonna, the story behind that is gonna mean the world to him. So thank you. But listen, guys, what we're gonna do, we're gonna end it now because Kim will be with me any moment. So we're going to go round the table and everyone promote their channel, do whatever. And then in honour of the great man himself, I'm not even playing exit music. We're going to end with 2 words that everybody wants to hear. So Barry, over to you first.
Okay, so you can, first of all, congratulations, Brian and everyone else. That's kind of got missed, but yeah, more importantly, Bobby's here. So, you can find me on a Thursday, Shelfside Spurs. We've got Steve Perryman coming on in a couple of weeks. You can find me on Eugene's channel when he lets me on.
Oh, wicked.
You can find me on some various other channels if they let me on. But yeah, Thursday, 7:30. And then the Steve Perryman show will be the 3rd of March. So catch you all again soon.
Brilliant. Eugene?
Spurs Version TV. Most probably I'll be doing the midweek show this Wednesday, right? Around, I think, 1 p.m. GMT, 1:30 p.m. GMT, right? Hop on. Sometimes we have too many guests. Sometimes we just have just enough. But, of course, the biggest thing is that to hear Bobby's voice again, right? That's the biggest thing, right? And Bobby, right, when you're ready, I'll love to have you back on Spurs Vision. Right,
Oh, man,
you were always you were always there, right? You were always there supporting us, right? Always been there supporting us, right? Big up to Bobby, right? And of course, don't forget Shelfside Spurs, TTG, right? Josh the Tottenham guy, and of course Tottenham Tour, 4K. Big up.
Thank you, Bobby K.
Oh, you know me.
I know you don't have channels, but if you want people to find you on social media because people are loving your content or anything you want to say, this is your moment.
I'm very simple. I'm easy to find because if there's anything related to a Tottenham stream going on anywhere, I'm going to try to get in there. I'm trying to make as many connections with these guys as I can to get every backdoor stream link I can. So even if I'm not a member, I try to sneak in there and I do the Daniel Levy snake move and just kind of pop up all of a sudden and say hello. So Eugene was kind enough to give me a debut on his channel yesterday. Nick has promised me an upcoming one soon. So I've got to arrange something with Josh, Bob Spur, and Dermot now. And that was it. I've got this panel taken care of. And then I'm going to see what else I can suss out there and find out who else is running channels. And Brian Daigle, you horrible, horrible man. This addiction you've given me is going to be the end or the beginning of me. So I don't know if I should thank you or hate you. But guys, like I said to you yesterday, I love it. I love speaking with all of you. I've loved becoming a part of this community. It's so positive. It's such a great energy. You know, I don't know Bob. I've never met him. But I feel like I can support him and know him because of all of you guys showing me what kind of person he is. I know Bob's character based on everybody else's speaking of Bob and the way they are encouraging him. They're encouraging Kim. And God knows that Mr. Brian Daigle himself has told me nothing but wonderful, wonderful things about this man. And has made it very clear that I'm... He's made it very clear that I'm the Bobby, his support group he keeps in Canada, but the real Bob is in England. So, you know, it's just wonderful, like I said, just to be a part of this community. And I thank you all for allowing me to be a part of this journey and being a part of your moments and you guys including me. I really, really am having a great time with it. So if you want to find me, here I am. Bobby Kang. I'm a Facebook guy. I don't do any other things. I'm too old for that stuff. But yeah, you know where I'm at, man.
Thank you. Dermot, over to you, buddy.
I don't really feel I want to plug my channel because I've come in here to hear Bob Spur's voice, lovely voice again, and congratulate you on reaching 4,000. But if you want to find me, you can find me on TTG every morning with Ben from his coffee shop, where we talk everything Tottenham. I'm doing the build up to the Burnley game with Josh coming on tomorrow evening. We're doing that, and then we're doing our post-match show on a Wednesday. Bob, when you're better, sir, really back in your feet, I'd love you to pop on one time.
100%.
And I just want to personally, I was talking this to Brian this morning. I want to personally thank you for all the support you gave me in the early days of me starting up my channel. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for your support.
Oh,
and
don't say that.
No, you were a brilliant man, and we all love you, and it's just so great to hear you. It really is.
Good,
and big up everyone.
All good.
Josh, brother, over to you.
Yeah, so you can find me over at Josh the Tottenham guy over on YouTube. I haven't really come out with this before, but Bob Spur was one of the inspirations behind me actually starting up a YouTube channel. I used to watch his content all the time. I used to remain in the shadows of watching some other streams as well. But once I started talking to some people, once I started getting to know some people, Bob Spur was the one that sort of influenced me to, well, it indirectly influenced me to go and start a YouTube channel. And here I am, 6 months later. So, Bobby, I've got a lot of time and love for you, brother. You know that.
Yeah, man.
To get you back on at some point soon. You can find me over on every other channel, really. I'm like the local resident. I'm like the resident channel hopper. I just go here, there, and everywhere. So, yeah, JTG1882 over on Twitter as well.
Yeah, no, I'm putting together a coming soon video, so that'll be good. But yeah, a few more weeks, couple of months probably, and I'll be back on the channel. I can see a Bobby and Bobby stream coming up. So
hey, they've got the two Brians. Why not the two Bobbies?
That's it.
Yeah, There we go.
That's it.
There we go.
I think we can give these guys a run for their money, Bobby. We can do it, buddy. We can do it.
Then we'll snap a quizzes anyway. So
I have to say, when Bobby
I know who Paul Gascoigne is. Just saying, Bob.
Yeah.
So I have to say, when Bob Spur does his first stream, it's probably going to be the most watched stream in Tottenham community history. I'm going to just say to everyone, and Bob's going to finish it off with saying whatever he wants, and he's going to finish off by saying piss off everyone. Then I'm going to end the stream. Thank you, everyone, for all the support in getting Tottenham On Tour to 4,000. Thank you, everyone that's been in the chat. Thank you, everyone that supported us. Most importantly, and it means nothing, everything I've just said means nothing compared to going over to Bob Spur TV, subscribing to that channel, seeing the well wishes, not just everywhere we go, but on this stream alone. Everyone knows this man is my left arm, and is coming back to me and coming back to us. And it's just, honestly, to have you back on this stream, Bob, means more than 4,000, 10,000, 100,000, a million. So, Bob, I'm going to let you plug or say whatever you want. And the second you say piss off everyone, I'm ending the stream. So fire away, my brother.
Yeah, no, like I say, big love to everyone. Absolutely overwhelmed by the love and support I've received. It's been unbelievable. It's been overwhelming, and yeah, it's an eye opener. But no, what can I say? Apart from piss off.